Well, there's a place I've come to know well, led by a man named Sty. He's full of stories, he is quite a guy. Sit around the campfire and hear him tell his tale. Some may be able to relate to him quite well. We're all just people looking for a place to go. Well, Sty has made one, and it is quite a show. Come meet Sty, he's quite the guy. If you're feeling lonely, come and make a friend. If you need a story, on Sty you can depend. His voice is soothing like a lullaby. Sometimes he brings a tear to my eye. Sit around the campfire and hear him tell his tale. Some may be able to relate to him quite well. We're all just people looking for a place to go. Well, Sty has made one, and it is quite a show. Come meet Sty, he's quite the guy.
Well, hello, folks, on this fine Sunday evening. It's good to see y'all. Hey, we can take our sweet time getting fired up here. I haven't got anybody in the basement right now, so I'm going to take my sweet time and shout out the folks over there in the chat. First one that popped in the house was Metal Music Maniac. Good to see you. Cannibal Sandwich sounds like a good tasting midday snack that was just a tad too hot. Well, the story's pretty much so about a midday snack, so you'll see. And then me Dibble jumped in and says, "Bad news, I'm back." Well, that's the best bad news I've had all day. I'm glad to see you, me Dibble. And then there's Kirk Whipper, Voyager Center. Good to see you, Tim. Great. Oh, you liked that last night, huh? That was just a spur of the moment stream. Yeah. Got to do those once in a while. And then there's Nick with NJ Lawn and Hedge Cutting. Great to see you, Nick. And let's see. We'll scroll down a bit. Oh, there's James chasing the Reaper. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. And then, well, there's that's a gal that we all love right there. There's Get Her Done Granny. Good to see you, girl. Good to see you. Hope all is going well enough and that you're holding up. Okay, let's see. Who else we got in here? Boom, boom, boom. Everybody chatting away at each other. Oh, there's Newfoundlander Ingalls family. Hey, Ingalls family. It's awesome seeing you. Yes. Oh, and there's Freeman James. Hey, brother, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Oh, there's Kathy. Oh, it's awesome. Great to see you, Kathy. And there's Eileen. There's Eileen. I had someone pop up in the basement. We'll bring them up shortly. It's great to see Eileen. And there's Chrysler Imperial. Hey, good to see ya. Who else? A lot of folks hanging out here in the chat. There's Eric Pollock. Awesome. Great to see you, Eric. And anybody? Oh, there's plain old Chuck. Hey, Chuck, you're coming in early. You must woke up from your nap, eh? Uh, okay, that's it. I got everybody that's out there in the chat. We're gonna pull this fella up here with me.
What's happening?
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, not a lot. Just hanging
Not
out.
a lot. Just hanging out. Yeah, yeah. Just another Sty Story Sunday. That's all that's happening.
That's it is.
Yeah, last night that was goofy. I just, I don't know. Samantha asked me the wrong question at the right time. Is anybody going to go live? Well, do you want somebody to? And I made the fatal error of falling asleep on the couch and had a long nap, late evening nap. So
Okay.
I knew damn well there's no way I was going to fall asleep until 2-3 o'clock in the morning at my best bet. So when she brought that up, I said, well, yeah, give me a few minutes. I'll set something up. So went live for a couple hours. What the heck?
I was out of it. I didn't even see that you'd gone live until sometime this morning when I woke up.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't even realize.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how many people actually showed up and hung out for a couple hours. It was a good group. It was a good group, 100 and some views, for a couple hours, and good conversation, just general yakety yak. But it was fun to do that for a change on a Saturday night, because I usually don't do anything except watch other people on a Saturday night. I don't get on panels. I don't interact. I don't do nothing. Saturdays are my YouTube day off. So it was fun to do it for a change. Hey, Sterling, good to see you, Sterling Silver. Thank you, Eileen. Eileen's getting Granny's link up there to help her out and getting herself restored and back into a home. That'll be a party day when she gets herself a house and she's doing her move in. We'll have to do a live stream of her moving in and yeah, party hardy, because a lot of people will be very, very happy for her. Yeah.
Hey Eric, how you doing, man? What's up, Dibble? Yeah, no, I was out of commission last night after about a half an hour after I got off the thing. That's when our cramps really started hitting me, and man, they went away from about 8 until 9 o'clock. I thought, I kind of fell asleep here on the couch down here in the basement. I'm like, all right, I'm going to be all right. An hour went by, and suddenly one woke me up.
Oh, no.
And I dealt with that for about a half an hour.
Oh.
And then it kind of slowly subsided. So.
Oh, boy.
That was a good night. Yeah.
I walked in the door, and I got you up and running, and there was only about 5 minutes you guys lasted. You're off. You're shutting her down. And you had said, we'll see how I feel. Maybe I'll come back up later. And that's where Samantha, she was patiently watching to see if you would.
Yeah.
And then she messaged me and she said, I don't think Phil's going to come back up tonight. And I said, I don't blame him, because I went back. Like I said, I had just come in the door and it ended. And so I went back, watched it from the beginning through. Yeah, you guys, you chowed it down good. You guys did a good job. And it was kind of neat watching both of you. It's like you'd take a bite and Joe was right there behind you. He'd take his bite. You'd take another bite. He'd take a bite. It was just like, I'd swear he was watching you, and he was
I thought he was too. I thought he wasn't wanting to go too fast
or too slow, you know.
Well, we were both, I talked about it at the beginning. It says, so are you going to go for the speed and blah, 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 blah. Because I know he's a fast eater and I'm not a fast eater.
Right.
And he's like, no, he said he went for speed on something else. And then, you still got to go that full 10 minutes plus the 5 minutes. He says,
right.
There was too much time where he felt like he needed to throw up by too quick.
Right. And then he had mentioned that when he's chewing, it doesn't seem to burn as bad. So I think he liked the idea. He was able to just keep chewing for 10 minutes, and then sit that 5 out. I think he appreciated that he was able to do that. And that's cool because you guys, you did the challenge right to the letter. I mean, it was great. I gotta shout out to Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca, good to see ya. Oh yeah, I wish I could do that hot stuff anymore, but boy, my guts just can't take it anymore. I just, I still spice up my food when I eat. I can spice it up quite a bit, but never spice it up to where it affects my stomach. I get good heat, but
you should stick with what you stick with, and that's occasionally doing something spicy for an individual challenge here and there, like you've done in the past. And
I'm considering I'm going to order the double X again and make that chicken curry double X out at camp this summer one time and then I'm going to eat it like a meal. I'm going to put it over rice probably with some sour cream, and I'm going to eat it as a edible meal, not as a heat challenge, and just see how much of it I can eating it like it's food instead of a one-way ticket to hell, But boy, that challenge last summer, I enjoyed that challenge out there at camp, even though it pushed me there. Ooh.
It tasted great.
Yeah, the flavor was so awesome,
even with all the heat. Yep, it was so good.
The heat was a killer. I couldn't believe that I only ate just a hair over half of it for the challenge part of it. And then I finished it off that night. I couldn't film it because I didn't have any lighting. I'm out there in the middle of the night at camp eating the last of that stuff with quite a bit of cream cheese or sour cream with it. Yeah. But you do what you gotta do. I couldn't let it go to waste, and I kept thinking, what if a bear gets in my cooler and gets a hold of that? That poor freaking bear, I wouldn't want some wildlife suffering.
No bears, wildlife suffering now.
It would have been kind of funny, but
sort of like the bear that does the back scratching and gets hit in the wang with the cord.
Mm-hmm. When I saw that video and that bungee cord come whipping up and got him, it was terrible because my ex-wife and I can't remember what the hell it was that we had gotten, and we put it in the trunk of the car. Well, you couldn't get the trunk lid to stay down, it's too big. So I said, I'll just bungee strap that trunk lid. And I put the hook, it had a trailer hitch on that car. I put it under that trailer hitch, and I'm stretching it up to hook it under the trunk. And she was standing right there, and that sucker slid off the trailer hitch, come up, hit her right across the side of the face. I had never seen such pain on her face, man. Oh, the look on her face and the sting and the shock of it. And I remember how bad I felt that she got smacked with that thing. It didn't cut her or anything. It just left a nasty welt. And she was in uncontrollable tears. I mean, her tears were watering for an hour just from the sting,
Yeah.
So when I saw that bear get whacked in the nuts with a bungee cord, I thought, I bet you he had tears for a while too.
and that's naturally a bear. I mean, if you get hit in the nuts, there might be a little bit of showmanship on the person does, and people are around watching. But when you're a bear and you get hit like that, it's all natural. Everything he was feeling,
that's it.
Walking all bone-legged and
Yep. Every reaction he showed was true and real. There was no Yeah. That is so true, when you think about that. The bear don't know to put on a show. So the show he's putting on is real. It's reality show. Ouch. Ouch. That's a reality show I'll skip.
Yeah, you got to be careful of those bungee cords. People try to make them things last forever.
Oh,
I heard
yeah.
I heard an old tale back when I was younger that someone was trying to bungee something down on top of a pop up, and the thing busted on the one end and come back and took a person's eye out.
Okay, now I did see a truck driver with that he was using bungees that got the hard wire hook with the rubber coating on them. That guy come running into a truck stop with a bungee cord about 12 inches long, and that hook was right through his cheek to the inside of his mouth, went right through his cheek, and he's hanging there from his face. I need an ambulance. He goes, it's just like, whoa, that ain't good. Ouch.
Yep.
And that was one of those deals. And I noticed it had this like aluminum looking ring down at the base of that hook. And when they come out there, they actually removed the hook for him right there. And then they packed his mouth with some cotton and, gauze and shit and taped his face. And then they had him go to outpatient to have it cleaned up and taken care of. But he said, I had a lightweight tarp and I had that thing hooked in that tarp and I was pulling it down, going to hook it on the back of my truck. And he says, and that stinking grommet tore out of the tarp. He says, that's why it was still at the bottom of that hook while the hook's in his face. And I thought, holy shit, you're lucky the tarp wasn't stuck to your face, dragging a tarp with you.
Yeah, when I stretch those things to maximum capacity, I guess I stay out of the way. And I got most of what I do nowadays. I've got 4 or 6 come-alongs. And I'd much rather use something like that on something than a bungee cord, because those things the little metal hooks, they're good when they're brand new, but then when they get old, they get a little rusty. They sometimes will straighten right out.
Yeah, you can't trust them. And then the plastic ones, they got metal inside of them, but it's a lighter gauge metal. So if the plastic breaks, that metal's not strong. It'll straighten the thing right out.
Yeah.
I had a cop laughing his butt off. We were moving from this place that's north of Ashland here about 30 miles or so. And I'm one of those guys, if we're moving, we're taking as few trips as possible. Well, I had this awesome 16-foot flatbed trailer that we use for hauling ATVs on. It had the drop ramp in the back and shit. Well, I popped that ramp up and we started stacking. We had all of those plastic totes, and we filled that thing with plastic totes. I can't remember how many it was, but it was stacked 12 feet high. And it was 7 by 16 feet square and 12 feet high. Not one of those totes was strapped down or nothing. I put this huge tarp I had over it, and I had to have had at least, I swear, it had to be at least 60 bungees holding that tarp and that load on that trailer. Wow. I had the big long ones. I had the little short ones. Every bungee I had on my property, and I had those big round containers full of them, I had like 7 or 8 of those, and I used 2/3 of them on that load. But I went down the road and it looked like this multicolored spider web with a blue tarp under it. And the cop pulled me over because
you look like you should have been pulled over.
Yeah. Because he wasn't sure if that trailer was 16 feet or shorter, which if it's 16 or shorter, you don't have to license it in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And he thought that could be over 16 feet. So he pulled me over. And I said, you just did that as an excuse, the way you're laughing. He says, I never seen anybody use so many damn bungee cords on anything. I said, it's a lot of them. I said, Gotta be at least 60 of them on there. And Christ, when we got to the house where we were moving, took all those bungee cords off of that load, and I'm not kidding. I had a pile on the ground that was about 2 feet deep. It was a big pile, about 2 feet high, of just bungee cords. And I had to use an empty tote to put all of them in because they filled the tote. They filled one of those totes, and I'm surprised didn't take an eye out hauling that load. But I was too. I'm going down the road 55 miles an hour, and that tarp's not even wiggling. Yeah, I mean, and that cop said, I don't know if that's really safe because not one of those bungee cords could even truly secure a tote doing 50 miles an hour. He said, so why don't you have ropes or a ratchet strap or something on that? Well, I didn't have any. All I had were bungee cords. Now I'm terrible too. There's guys, they'll dig through my bungee cords and they'll go, oh, I got one. And they'll hold it up. And they'll go, fuck that. I'm not using that. Because I'll have some that get cut, you know. So I'll just take my knife and I'll cut it at that cut or that tear. And then I'll knot it, you know. I'll tie a knot. Oh. There we go. So I've probably got 15, 20 bungee cords in my collection that have knots in them. But because I tied them together, they broke.
Yeah.
I'm too cheap to throw them away.
Yeah, I think that's mostly why. I mean, we use bungee cords every now and then if something's laying flat inside the truck bed, and we're just kind of trying to, keep it down, from going anywhere. Like when I get my gas cans, I got one. I got a bungee cord to go from one side of my pickup truck bed to the other side. I run it right through the handles of the gas cans. That way they're not sliding around whether they're empty or full. It usually keeps the gas cans about that far off my truck bed when they're empty. And when they're full, then they're just right there. So when I get home, they haven't shifted around the back of. I left my tailgate open one time and didn't use a bungee cord.
Oh.
And I went around a corner and lost one of my small gas cans.
Uh-huh.
Nobody told me. This was when gas was more expensive. Nobody told me. I got to my destination. It was only a couple, 2-3 miles. And I noticed my tailgate was open and one of the gas cans was gone. So I slammed my tailgate, turned my truck back around, went back down the road. You could see where gas had spilt on the side of the road when I made my turn. And someone got out, took the can, and went. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You drop it don't matter if it's empty or full. If someone sees a gas can, that's one of the first things that gets picked up along the road. Yeah. Probably the guy right behind you, too.
Could have been.
He just left me a gas can. Grab it. Open your door and grab that as we drive by. Yeah, I do the same thing. I got the tie down rings in the box of my truck, and I got a 5-gallon gas can, and that's bungeed, so it can move about maybe 3 inches any direction when it's back there, and when it's empty, it does the same thing. Because of where that D-ring kind of deal is, it lifts it off the floor of the truck, so it just, and I can hear it back there, dong 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 dong. If I'm on a bumpy road.
I don't carry empty gas cans around. The only time they're in my vehicle when I'm heading up to put gas in them, so they don't rattle for long.
Yeah, I got Tuesday. I hope the weather improves for Tuesday because I got to get my truck empty now, rearrange in the adventure trailer, move all my crap from the truck into there. The only thing I can't take out of my truck and put in there is the firewood and my generator. I'm not taking a 104-pound generator and trying to move it into that stinking trailer. It's still in the damn box. I don't want to have to unbox it and move it in there. But I had this buddy of mine, Travis, with Destination Great Lakes. We were chatting earlier. Well, no, it was yesterday afternoon. We were chatting, and he's telling me, you got to get that thing out. You got to get it all gassed up and oiled up. You got to run it for its first break in and change the oil, and then run it again for another 50 hours and change the oil the second time. He said, and it'll be good to go for the summer. I said, I'm doing that shit out at camp, man. I ain't doing that here.
People around the apartment building would hate you, and then people at your son's house would hate you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Wherever you started up and run it, they hate you.
Well, the nice thing is this Jenny. You'll see. I'll be doing videos.
You told me the Honda, right?
No. I got the Predator 3500.
Oh, okay.
It's 500 watts hotter than the Honda, and it's about 12 decibels quieter than the Honda.
Well, that's good because the Hondas are noted to be quiet. So if it's quieter than the Honda, then that's good.
Yeah. If anybody's interested, just search for it on YouTube, Predator 3500, and there's a lot of comparison videos out there. I think I've watched about 15 of them where they're comparing the Honda with the with the Predator. And what amazes me is the Predator. Very few people know it. The motor in that Predator is manufactured by the same company that manufactures the Honda motor. And
does Honda manufacture their own motor?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. That's one of those farmed out deals, That's like some car companies, farm out certain components. My uncle had a Ford custom built, and I couldn't believe that damn thing. He really pissed his brother, my other uncle, off because that uncle, he was an executive for Chrysler. I mean, he had 42 years he worked as an exec for Chrysler. And his brother goes and he has a custom Ford 1-ton truck built. And he had a custom camper, slide in the box camper made for that truck. That frickin' camper was 16 feet long.
Jeez.
The thing was huge. It hung out the ass end of that truck 4 feet. So the tailgate's down, and that's considered the ass end, the end of the tailgate. 4 feet beyond the tailgate.
Wow.
But it rode level. But holy God, you should have seen the suspension in the ass end of that truck. But the transmission, he had a standard transmission. And it was now it's a pickup truck, right? It's a crew cab pickup truck. And this thing's huge. It had a 5 and 2. It had a 5-speed transmission with 2-speed rear end in that truck. Custom built for them. They don't build pickup trucks with a 2-speed rear end in them. Well, his was, but that rear end, he got that rear end out of Canada. He got the transmission out of Canada. And Ford put this all together for him. He just negotiated how they're going to build his custom truck. And the transmission was a manual transmission, but it used automatic transmission fluid in it instead of gear lube like a typical manual. So, and I could not figure that out. I could not figure out. But boy, did that sucker shift smooth. It really shifted nice. And that truck had water injection. I don't remember what size that motor was, but it had water injection. And it had an altimeter in the dash cluster. Had an altimeter. So when he was driving out west, going up over the Rockies and the like, he'd gain elevation, and that truck would automatically, based on the elevation, would advance the spark so that it and adjust the richness of the fuel going to the engine. So he never felt a power change. And I've run up and down the Rockies with gas engines many times. And you lose power. You start getting up there about 8,000 feet, and your vehicle's running like shit because of the thin air and the low pressure. So his truck read all that crap. And he'd be going down the road, and he could set it on automatic water injection. And if he was he'd pull a big ass boat behind him. And if he wanted extra power, he'd put that on automatic water injection. And that bugger would get about 35 miles to the gallon when it ran, because it was running on almost 80% water. And I asked him, how the hell's that work? He says, shit, they've been doing that since World War II. I said, no, you're full of shit. So he made me research it. And the old original Spitfire airplanes, they were 800 horsepower, that engine. I believe it was I can't remember if it was a Rolls Royce or a Mercedes engine, but I think it was Rolls Royce. But it was 800 horsepower, and they carry on that airplane, they would carry 60 gallons of water. And if they got in a dogfight, they'd water inject that engine to go into a climb, and it would double the horsepower of that engine because of all the hydrogen that's in water. If your engine's running hot enough, it burns that water. It burns the hydrogen in the water. And the only problem is it rots out your exhaust system, because you'll have water actually coming out the tailpipe. Not like it's a faucet turned on, but it's dripping out your tailpipe. It's just water coming out. And it was amazing. That truck was absolutely amazing. I asked him how much that truck cost him. Well, he had that truck built in 1974. And at that time, he paid $108,000 for it.
Wow.
108 grand. They sold that truck in 96. Yeah, in 96. And he got $250,000 for that truck.
Really?
Because it was so unique. It was just so that yeah, it's crazy. Oh, there you go, me Dibble. The Rolls Royce Merlin. Yeah, okay, yeah. I just couldn't remember offhand. Yeah. Hey, it's that time. We hit that half-hour mark. I'm going to do the Sty story, and we're going to move on with chatting. I'm not putting him off to the side. I don't. When I only got one person on the panel, we leave it just the way it is.
Make me small, because I got to make a run. To the little boys' room.
Oh, you want to be small for that? Okay. Let's get on with the story. Hey, tonight's story. Cannibal sandwich? Yeah. All right. When I was a kid, I ran around town all over the place. I had my bike. Man, I was everywhere. Yes, went everywhere. Well, I got another Sty story that's about the same person I'm going to talk about. Irv was his name. Old Irv. And old Irv, he was one of our town drunks, right? And I never knew when I'd run into old Irv, he'd be walking on the old railroad tracks. You'd find him laying off on the side, sleeping off a bad drunk somewhere. Heck, you'd even find him sleeping in your front yard sometimes. You just never knew where you'd find old Irv. Well, they were different times back then. Different times. I'd go riding past him on the bike, and I'd yell, "Hey, Irv!" I always had to say hi to Irv if I saw him. He was a character. He was a real character. And old Irv would say, hey, get over here, Junior. He always called me Junior. He knew my dad was the chief of police. And he'd tell me, hey, here. He'd give me a couple of dollars. And he'd tell me, you ride on down to the liquor store down there and get me a nice big 40 of beer and a pack of smokes. Well, I knew he smoked Lucky Strikes, and I'd ride down to the liquor store and say, I'm here to get a 40 and a pack of smokes for old Irv. I'm 10 years old, for crying out loud. No problem. They put that 40 up in the smokes and ring it up, and I think it came to like $1.35. I'd ride back to where old Irv was laying in somebody's front yard and say, hey, Irv, I got your beer and your smokes. Old Irv, he just happy. And I'd go to give him his change, and he'd go pick through the change, and he'd give me a quarter. He always gave me a quarter. Well, back in those days, man, that quarter's pretty dang good. I'd give me a nice bottle of pop and a big-ass bag of candy up for a quarter. So whenever I saw old Irv, I wanted to help him out. If he needed something, I'd go run for him and do it. And there were times I'd go fetch things for him or go give a message to somebody for him, and there'd be no money involved. So, I did, and he'd say, "Oh, I owe you." No, you don't, Irv. That's all right. I just did that to help you out, old Irv. Well, one day I got my bike and I'm walking up to the street, and our yard had a hill in the front, and then it dropped down to the street. Well, on that hillside facing the street, I saw somebody's laying in the yard. So I pushed my bike over there, and oh yeah, it's Irv. And I kind of kicked him. I go, "Hey, Irv," and he sits up, and you could tell he's quite intoxicated. I go, "What are you doing, Irv, in our front yard again?" He goes, "I'm safe here because the chief of police, he lives in this house." Well, yeah, that's my dad, you dope. Well, he sits up and he's kind of stretching, and it's around noon, and old Irv says to me, he says, doggone it, I'm hungry. He says, and he says, I worked today. I worked this morning. He says, and I got some money. He says, but I don't even think I can walk straight enough to make it to the grocery store and back here. He says, could you run to the store for me and get me some fixins so I can have something to eat? And I said, well, yeah, I can do that. He reaches in his pocket and he hands me, oh, Killer Creations. Hey, I'll cut the story for a minute to show that off. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, that is too cool. Too cool. Awesome. Awesome. Look forward to some special content for members this summer. By the end of May, I'll be putting up member-only videos of things out at camp. So welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Thank you. So old Irv, he digs in his pocket and he pulls some cash out. And hey, Samantha, loved the show over at MBA's. Ooh, awesome. Watched the whole thing right up until I had to go live. But he peels off a $5 bill and hands it to me. Hi, neighbor girl. And he says, here's what you need to get for me at the store. He had just a small list. Well, Phil, you pushed the wrong button. But he says, I need you to get me a small loaf of rye bread. He goes, now, you know what rye bread is? I said, yeah, that's that black bread. I know what you're talking about. He goes, okay. Now, I also need the smallest little shaker of salt and pepper that they have. I said, okay. So you want rye bread and salt and pepper. And he says, yeah. And then I want 1 pound of the best ground chuck they have. It's got to be lean. He says, I don't want any fatty ground beef. I want lean ground chuck. I said, well, okay. And he says, and I want 1 nice big Spanish onion. I could do that. Yeah, sure. So off I went on my bike. I went and I got him his loaf of rye bread, and I looked around, and the store owner helped me. She helped me find a little picnic-sized salt and pepper shaker set, and I got a nice big Spanish onion, and I went to the meat counter and said, I need 1 pound of the best ground chuck you got. Butcher wraps that all up for me, and they bag it up, and off I go back to my place to deliver that to old Irv. And I'm going to bring Samantha up while I finish the story up. Hi, sweetie. And I get back, and old Irv, he's napping, of course, while I'm out running his chores. I walk up to him, hand him the bag, give him the change, and he said, I ain't giving you no money today. Sometimes he could be ornery. He says, I ain't giving you no money today. He says, but I'm buying you lunch. And I go, I'm thinking about what I just brought him. And I thought, is he going to cook? He's going to start a fire in our front yard, that old bastard, and he's going to cook some burgers on it. And I go, so what's for lunch? He goes, cannibal sandwiches. I go, what the hell? That scared the shit out of me. What in the hell is he talking about? He goes, you're going to love them. Cannibal sandwiches. He says, they're good for you. Gives you strength. He says, you've never had a cannibal sandwich? I said, hell no. What the hell, cannibal sandwich? And he says, watch this. And he carried this knife that was about 10 inches long. He pulls that knife out of its sheath and he takes that onion and he slices that onion. Then he takes that loaf of bread out and lays 4 slices of rye bread out. He opens that package, that paper package of hamburger, and he starts putting tons of salt on it, and then follows it with tons of pepper, black pepper. He folds the paper back up around it and starts kneading it. And he's sitting there just kneading away, and I'm going, okie dokie. Now what are you going to do with it? Well, how are you going to cook that? He opened that back up, broke it into 2 parts, made patties out of it that fit in that rye bread just perfect. Put the sliced onion on top of that raw meat with salt and pepper, and put the top slice of bread on it. And he picks one up and is trying to hand it to me, and I'm going, that ain't happening. I said, are you damn crazy? You can't be eating that shit. He goes, what do you mean you can't eat that? He says, that stuff's good, and it's good for you. He says, there ain't nothing like a good cannibal sandwich. And I go, nobody eats raw hamburger. You're crazy. You're nuts. And he says, now you wait a minute, boy. I know your grandpa, your one grandpa. He's pure German, that guy. I know. I'll bet you your grandpa eats cannibal sandwiches. I said, no, I've never seen him eat no cannibal sandwich. And he said, you don't know what the hell you're missing. And he took that sandwich of his, took a big old bite out of that, and he's got this big-ass grin on his face. And he had a 40 sitting next to him, so he opens his beer, and he's chasing it with beer and eating his cannibal sandwich. He gets done with it, and I'm just sitting there in the grass watching this crazy fool eat raw hamburger. And he says, come on. He says, you gotta eat yours. Come on. I said, I'm not eating it. I'm not going to do it. So he ate the second sandwich. He says, boy, that's a lot of food. He says, I'm going to have to get up and walk that off. And I thought, yeah, you're going to get up and stagger that off. You're so damn drunk, you know. Well, off he went about his business. Just happened that a couple days later, my grandmother and grandfather were at the house visiting. And I thought of what old Irv said. I bet your grandpa's eating cannibal sandwiches. And I looked my grandpa right in the eyes and I go, are you a cannibal? I was a kid. My grandpa said, why the heck would you call me a cannibal? I go, you've eaten cannibal sandwiches, haven't you? And he looks at me and he goes, not since I was a kid. He says, actually, he says, it's risky eating raw meat of any kind. He says, you don't want to be eating raw meat. And I go, so you have eaten them? And he goes, well, of course. He says, if you're at this time, back in the 60s, he goes, if you're a true German or you're Polish and you haven't tried a cannibal sandwich, then you're really messing up, because he says we Germans eat cannibal sandwiches for all the holidays. He said Christmas was the biggest time for cannibal sandwiches. And you just had very lean ground beef with lots of salt and pepper and onion on rye bread. It's got to be on rye bread. I'm like, I don't know if my grandpa's a cannibal or if in his town he's the town drunk. I don't know. But doggone it, cannibal sandwich? So later years, when you had access to the internet and stuff, I kind of looked it up. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And guess what? In the state of Wisconsin, the state of Wisconsin has the highest rate of botulism cases caused from eating raw hamburger cannibal sandwiches. Something tells me we got, and Minnesota is just right behind it. Now, I know Minnesota, all of its farm country is packed full of Germans. Wisconsin, packed full. Now, somebody's going to yell at me for saying it, but I'm just saying it because I live amongst them. I know them. They're friends of mine. But Wisconsin's packed full of Amish and Polacks. So I got a feeling these Polacks are still following tradition and eating a lot of cannibal sandwiches. So I'd like to hear anybody out there, anybody, Sam, Phil, have you ever tried a cannibal sandwich? I mean,
Nope.
no. I've
had some undercooked burgers. I undercooked myself where it was still mushy inside.
Oh yeah, I've had rare burgers.
I've gone through and finished it off, but no, I like my burger medium, a little pink on the inside, but I like it warm all the way through.
Well, see, that's it. Is I want it hot. I want it hot throughout. It can be as pink as ever, as long as it's hot. Yeah, steak tartare. See, the thing is what they put together for a cannibal sandwich isn't tartare. It's not tartare. It's a different.
It's different
method.
for my burgers, though. I like medium well burgers, but my steak I like medium rare.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If my steak's more than medium rare, then it's burnt.
Yeah. Exactly.
You wrecked it. Now, my brother was terrible. He loved sirloin steaks, and he'd come home after a night out drinking, and he'd say, I got to eat. And I'd say, what are you fixing? Steak? You want one? I'll cook you a steak. Not if you're cooking. He put a pan on that damn stove, cranked the heat up as high until that pan you can hear the pan warping from the heat. He'd take that sirloin steak and throw it in there. It would hiss for about 10 seconds, and he'd flip that sucker over, and you hear it hiss for another 10 seconds, and he'd throw it on the plate. It's done. Only about 1/16 of an inch of that sucker is cooked. It's just it wasn't even warm inside the steak. I accidentally tried it that way once. I go, no, that's as cold as it was when you took it out of the fridge. No. Oh, you just want to. All you want to do is sear it.
Even lions don't eat their meat that cold. They like it live, warm.
Yeah, that's it. That's eating it cold, raw meat. That's kind of a scavenger thing, isn't it?
Yeah, the crow eating roadkill, right?
Yeah, that's a scavenger thing. That's not a good predator. You want something juicy and warm, It might be raw, but at least it's got to be still 98.6 and juicy,
Chase and Reaper ate that shit too. Damn.
There you go. I never tried it. I never tried it. Now at my where I'm at in life, I think if someone can really make it traditionally, and if I watch them prep it and they're eating it, I might say, make one, cut the sandwich in half, and try half of the sandwich just to see what the texture and the flavor might be. I might take one bite and go, "That's it. Ain't happening ever again."
Kathy's like my wife. She likes her meat dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife overcooks it. My even bacon. My wife likes her bacon crispy.
See, it all depends on what I'm eating with my bacon, whether I want it crispy or not so crispy.
She wants it practically burnt.
Oh, yeah. See, that's my ex-wife with frickin' hot dogs. If that hot dog, I mean the whole dog, it can't be just one side. The whole dog's got to be pitch black. She'd take a bite out of that sucker and you'd look inside of it and it'd be a black ring with a little tiny hot dog down the center. That's how burnt they had to be. I hated it, man. I had hot dogs catch on fire where they were actually burning on the grill. They had flames on them. And she's going, "Oh, that's perfect." What? I was going to throw those to the dog. I had hot dogs that I burnt, and I thought, she'll never eat those either. They're just charcoal. And I'd throw it to the dog, and the dog would turn his nose up to it, wouldn't eat it. And she's going, "What the hell? Those are perfectly fine. Those are good." Give her a nice, juicy hot dog, and it's like, "Oh, I'm going to gag. I'm going to choke." Yeah. What?
That's gross.
I like my brats. Everybody prepares their brats their own way, but when I set the grill up, I put a nice stock pot there that's got about a full pound of butter in it, and then I fill the kettle up about half full of beer, so there's about a gallon of beer in it. And then my brats go in there, and I simmer them until they're actually almost completely cooked, but they're boiled, right? Then I take them out, throw them on the grill, and brown them. Then I take them off the grill, throw them back in that water after they're grilled. And then when you come up and you say, "Yeah, I want a bratwurst," I grab one out of that pot that's just full of, well, it's got water, it's got beer, onions, and butter in it, and salt and pepper, and blah blah blah. That they're just sitting there, staying hot. I throw that bugger on the grill and bring that sucker up to temp, and it kind of dries out the outside of it. You're grilling it like a second time. People bite into them, and man, you can have some napkins, man. It will blow juice all over your face, man. Those broccoli, these just be in there, cooked all the way through. They got the good grill flavor, and the beer and onion flavor to it. Yeah, people love my job.
Your volume got really bad, didn't it?
Yeah, you got muffled.
Mine?
I thought it was just
Yep.
me. Oh, now it's better.
It's better now, but yeah.
I wonder what happened.
Yeah, you went to like half volume and it was kind of muffled.
Oh,
Yeah, it sounded
boy.
like you were in a box.
I'm not in a box.
Well, you
Not
kind of
yet.
are.
Not yet.
Box over.
I'm not in a box yet, guys. Yeah. Yeah. How big
Yeah,
was
see.
that box?
I kind of feel like I'm in a box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Don't do the mime thing on me. That's one of my pet peeves, man. If I see a mime on the street, one of two things are going to happen. I'm going to turn right around, go back the way I came, or I'm going right up to some bitch and tell him, "You're going to die. I don't like you." I hate mimes with a passion.
I've never
I hate
looked
them.
at them.
And they say, "Oh, but they're so artistic." No. They're
Creepy.
fucking strange morons. I mean, that there is something wrong with a person's gray matter if they're playing a mime. I mean,
Mhm.
that's not normal. That ain't a real person, man. That's not right. That shit ain't right. I had one screwing with me at this carnival,
Here's the story. Here we go.
and I kept warning him, "Don't you get any closer. Don't you dare." Now this is when I was quite young, and back when I was riding around on a scooter, and didn't take much shit from anybody at that time. And this mime's getting in my face. And I asked him, I said, "Why are you doing this?" And he's doing his mime shit. And I go, "I can't read minds, son of a bitch. I can't read mimes, period. Speak up. What in the hell are you doing this for towards me?" And he's got a smile on his face all of a sudden, and he's doing the mime shit right up in my. And I said, "You've got about 3 seconds to say something, or I'm going to make sure you can't talk the rest of the week." He gets this big fucking grin, and he does this mime shit, and he makes a false punch, and then you got the real one. I hit him right in the fucking mouth. I knocked him right on his ass. Now that's sick, because that son of a bitch got off the ground and he's going. And never said a fucking word. Oh, I was so mad. I was drunk at the time, probably kind of toked up too. I grabbed him by the mouth and pulled his bottom lip down, opened his jaw, and I go, "You've got a tongue, you son of a bitch. I know you can talk." And then a couple of guys jumped in, broke it up, said, "Quit picking on the mime."
Right.
All of a sudden, I'm the bad guy.
You
I'm
did
the
a
bad
mime.
guy. I mean, that mime got so many warnings. I mean, he just couldn't keep his hands shut.
You did hit a mime. I mean,
well, after that, I thought, if I ever get into that situation again, I'm just going to bitch slap him. I'm not going to punch him. You bitch. You get away from me. Oh, God. I mean, they dress up like Pee Wee Herman and then go out there and don't say nothing, I mean, fuck off. All of them people.
Are you a big Pee Wee Herman fan too? I'm trying to wonder about you, Sty.
I tell you what, Pee Wee Herman.
You've been looking through Pee Wee Herman's wardrobe lately or something? Know what Pee Wee wears?
No, you've seen him. He was on TV and movies and shit.
I know who he is. I'm just, I wouldn't have referenced Pee Wee Herman myself.
If a person says, "Oh, I know who Pee Wee Herman is," I guarantee you they've seen him somewhere on something, because you wouldn't even question Pee Wee Herman unless you saw him, and then you go, "Oh, now I get it." Yeah. Me Dibble says, "I'm going to send you something via Facebook, a video. So if you get a message, no need to look in the stream." Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't like mimes. Some people are freaked out with clowns, but for me, mimes are
either one of them.
Mimes are the biggest clowns of the bunch. Yeah.
I don't care for either one of them anymore. So I'm not afraid of clowns. I just don't like them, especially the non-talking ones. So the clowns that act like mimes, they don't do the whole, but they don't talk. They walk their nose and shit.
See, I like clowns, but I like traditional clowns, circus clowns.
Bozo.
But when somebody's dressed up as a clown and they're in town, there's no carnival or nothing, there's a guy dressed up as a clown. No, I don't like that shit. No. Neighbor girl, your husband was Pee Wee for Halloween. That's good. That's good. That's good. See, now that I would consider funny if somebody's mimicking him. Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Exploring Ginger.
My uncle actually knew Bozo, and he was a clown for many years.
Bozo the
My
Clown.
mom's brother, a professional clown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Bozo in the morning cartoons and
Both of my
Mr.
sisters.
Green Jeans and yeah.
Both my sisters met Bozo the Clown.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was big into these guys that had these kid shows. In Minneapolis, they had a show called Popeye and Pete. Well, Pete, he dressed like a dork. I mean, he looked like he just got out of prison. He's wearing this black and white striped shirt. And, yeah, he's a freaky looking guy. And he had a Popeye puppet. Well, I was the baby, but my youngest sister, she got picked to be on his live show, right? And they would pick kids out of all the different school districts around the Twin Cities. And her name came up. Well, we knew it was because my dad got called KSTP, the television station in the day, and said, "Hey, I want my daughter on the Popeye and Pete show. She watches it all the time." Well, just because she watched the show didn't mean she liked Pete. She liked the cartoons and stuff, you know. My little sister never swore until she got on that show. And Pete had that Popeye puppet on his hand, and he comes up to her, and she had pigtails. And he yanks on one of her pigtails. She reached out and swatted his hand away and swatted Popeye the hell out of there, because it was Popeye that was pulling it. And she cussed at Pete. Live TV. And she was only like 8 years old.
Oh no.
8, 9 years old. My mother just about died. My father didn't quit laughing for weeks. And all of us right away, when we seen him reaching for her pigtail, we're all like, "Don't do that. He did it. Oh, shit. Here it goes." Yeah. Don't touch her. Hey, Mark. Good to see you. Rolling Homestead Wild Edibles in Wisconsin. Keto Homestead. Great to see you.
Hey, Keto.
Hey, Keto.
Awesome.
So like,
Welcome.
hey,
Welcome.
Hey, tequila. Hey, Keto. Tequila.
Hey, Keto.
Ooh.
Calm down, Phil. That's
Someone say tequila? What?
yeah. That's not something hot and spicy, Phil.
Oh.
Relax.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Keto. That sounds like
Keto.
something I'd eat. Yeah.
Keto. I did these today.
Yes, I watched it.
Had you seen those yet?
I missed it because I was on.
It's only a
that
minute
movie,
long
but
video.
I wanted to see it.
Yeah, it's a minute
I'll
and
have to
15
watch it.
seconds or
I
something
think,
like that.
I think I'd do like a short on it, and I got really short because I ate them when I chewed them. And I expected something, and it was like nothing.
I have never seen you with such a bland response. Like it was you hesitated. Like, do I dare say there ain't no heat? There's nothing. There's nothing. And then boom, video's done. It was like I considered it. That's a disappointment video. Because you were so disappointed. Yeah, it was so obvious.
Well, I did it vertical so it could be a short.
Are you finished cleaning that room up yet?
I don't know how to make it a short. I just put hashtag short on it, and I don't know if it was a short or not. But it was like, yeah, I expected to get more than that. I was even thinking maybe I'd go to the next can, which is Ghost Pepper. But the Carolina Reaper was so disappointing. It's like I almost feel like I got to make a new thing and make it Jim Bob eating them, and he can act a fool.
Well, yeah.
You know, everything's hot to Jim Bob, especially when I let him
Somebody-
out of the. I mean, when I let him come in. So
Somebody put pepper on my nuts.
that's right.
Yeah. 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 I was amazed when I thought, oh, geez, that's pretty cool that Blue Diamond come out with something with Reaper.
Right.
And I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, Phil's going to eat those and go, whoa, finally something truly hot right off the store shelf. You ate them, and it's just like, ah, fuck. And the video, ain't nothing there.
Night me dibble.
Again,
Good night,
if you're not a chili head or you're something, you might like for Sty. Sty might try some of those. Like, oh, I can feel a little heat, maybe like a 1 or a 2. You know, probably
Some
what
bite.
Sty would do. Sam would probably say it's probably more like a 2 because she doesn't like spicy stuff much at all.
Yeah.
But
It's not that I don't like it. It's just I don't do much of it.
right.
When you had me eating those Pringles, I was like, this is
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
So
Pringles are
it made
nothing,
me
no.
want to try something hotter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, why did I do this? It's not. Yeah,
Well, I mean, you put ghost pepper on a lot of stuff nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's still not hot. But if you're gonna put Carolina Reaper on something, god damn it, it better be hot.
hot. Yeah, don't even put Reaper on something that's not going to burn.
Yeah.
I mean, well, and that's it. Is just think of how many people that might eat those and actually enjoy the little bit of heat level and think that's a great snack, but they won't try them because it says Reaper on the can. They won't even go there. They won't even try it. Oh no, that's Reaper's. And it's 4 flames, and it says hottest. No.
Well, then you're gonna have the other people that eat this. It's like, well, it's Carolina Reaper. That's not that hot, you know.
And then they'll go eat a Reaper.
And they'll go eat something with real Carolina Reaper on it, or a Carolina Reaper, and yeah.
Yep.
He's listening.
That's, hey, Chase. Chase.
You like Sty? You like Sty?
Chase, you're ignoring me tonight.
Of
Now
course.
he's calling you, and now you're not looking.
If I was sitting in her lap, I'd ignore me too. Yeah.
There he goes.
There's Chase.
Oh.
Hey, Chase. Yeah, you little shit.
Darn Furby, says Mel.
That's right.
Yeah, he is a little Furby, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hairless Furby. Short hair.
So yeah, another week done. Going back to work tomorrow. I was telling this last Sunday, man. These weeks, man, something's going weird with my body clock because I'm dreading Monday, and the next thing I know, it's Thursday night.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. I'm at
Days
that.
are shorter lately, yeah.
I'm at that point now where yesterday is exactly 3 weeks to the day that I'll be at camp.
Yeah. So you have
And
something to look forward to.
and I'm looking
Yeah.
at it now. It ain't gonna be fun if I don't get the shit done to go. And then Nicholas Green, that little turd, he wants to show up the first week I'm in
Yeah,
camp.
he wants to be there right away.
He can help you.
And
Yeah, that's what the lady was saying.
There you go.
She's like,
well,
"Nicholas could help
I thought about that, but I know how Nick is. No, he ain't gonna help me. He's gonna help me not get anything done. We're gonna be running around in the woods. We're gonna be doing this and that and everything but stuff I need to do to get myself established for 4 months, And so, but he's coming the second week, which is good, which I'll be settled by
Yeah,
then.
that's why you need to take duct tape to the campground. Unruly campers.
I got plenty of that. Who's that big kid duct taped to that damn tree over there? Oh, he's staying with me for a few days.
I let
There, duct taped to that tree.
I let him go at 8 p.m. when I'm damn well ready.
Yeah. So,
Sam down there.
They're arguing about him cleaning his room.
All the racket going on.
Oh, he hates doing that. Yeah.
Funny, every time she mutes, it all goes bone quiet.
Just
Yeah.
She's got
My
some
house.
button or something going on with her
Everything else,
microphone,
yeah.
or a
Everything
fan
else in my
going or
house.
something. Or probably from the fan from the
Jeez.
computer.
You know what he
Could be both.
did during my live with NBA? He's like
He pooped?
trying to stick your sticker in the camera. It's like, Colin.
yeah.
Wrong sticker, kid.
little bit of
Such a
promo
stink.
there, eh?
Yeah, and they're trying to sticker bomb the live. I was like,
Tell Colin I'll send them the $5 later.
Yeah. Hey, Fulton.
What's up, Fulton?
Yeah. Hey,
I
folks.
didn't know you were live with NBA. I'd have watched that.
Yeah, I did
Oh,
a
yeah.
2.5 hour interview with him. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We
It was
laughed.
good.
Oh,
It
we
was good.
laughed.
Didn't know a thing about it.
I got to go watch the tail end because I had to cut out right. I mean, literally 1.5 minutes before you were in the middle of a song. Well, you were at the tail end of it, but I'm watching the clock and I'm going, oh, yeah, I'll get to hear the whole song. I'll get to hear the song. And then I'm going, oh, shit, it's showtime. Damn it. So I had to quit and come on here. But I watched every minute of the show tonight. I do every Sunday he's up.
He's
I,
great.
I always watch NBA on Sundays. That's how I unwind before my show, is watch NBA.
Yeah.
And yeah, very good interview, Samantha. That was awesome. Very good. Very good.
I can't take credit. NBA, yeah, he's great, man. It was a lot of fun.
And your responses were wonderful. I mean, people really got to know you tonight.
I told him, I
And the
said,
nice thing is having another artist interview you like that makes the difference.
he knows the talk. Yeah, he's funny. He's like, right
Oh.
beforehand, he goes, I won't get too into detail with my questions. I said, dude, I'm an open book. Don't worry. You can ask me anything. He's like, oh, yay. Okay. We're going for it then. It's like, yeah. It was fine.
Oh yeah, he's such a hoot. I mean, he's such a character, and
Yeah, I like his little TikTok videos he's been putting together too.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's been my TikTok guide lately. He's funny because I'm a newbie to it, but
yeah,
right, yeah. And he really
watch
wants
his
you.
videos all the
He
time.
really wants you to get
He's so
out
funny.
there as much as
Yeah.
possible, and
Cracks me
yeah.
he's a good dude.
Yeah. I love when he's talking about his neck of the woods versus yours.
You'd think
Yep.
that Alaska would be somewhat similar, but it's not.
No. Well, you get down in the South and their ways are deeper rooted than they are throughout anything west or north,
Mhm.
and he is right. They are different folk, boy. They are different folk. That I'm trying to remember where I was. I was in the deep South, and I had to lay over. I was driving truck at the time, and they had no truck stops or nothing. And I found this little bar restaurant place that had a big parking lot, and they said, yeah, you can park in there, we don't give a shit, and I go in there to eat and have a few beers, and about every 15-20 minutes there's a bar fight going on, but they all acted like, yeah, it's just another day, it's just another day. And then these 3 guys come over and they sat by me at the bar and they started talking, and they're going, I didn't have to say 3 words, and they're going, well, you're just nothing but a damn Yankee, aren't you? I go, well, of course I am. I'm from Wisconsin. And they started laughing. Oh, you're from Wisconsin. They said, yeah. They said, It's too damn bad that we ran out of ammunition. We would have kicked your Yankees' ass. And I said, and I go, hey, boys, you got a problem with us Yankees? And one said, I kind of do. And I thought, man, the way these guys are fighting in here all the time, I think I'm being walked into one right now. So I turned to that guy and I go, I'll tell you what, Johnny Reb, you think you're so damn smart? You and I are going to meet out in that parking lot in 10 minutes, and we're going to refight the Civil War, just you and me. And he goes, you're going to get your ass kicked. I said, no, I ain't, because I ain't showing up. So you win by default. And guess what? Everything we gained, we're sending back to you. His two buddies burst out laughing. They both bought me beers. They go, that was a bad. He said, you look at the look on his face. He don't know what to do. I said, oh, yeah. Let's turn everything around. We'll send all the issues that came with it back to you. So have fun with it. Those three invited me to go to stock car races that night. And I said, well, okay. Well, I didn't think you could get three hillbillies and a cheesehead in a pickup cab, but we got in it. That damn pickup truck, I don't know how many times the guy driving it goes, what was that sound? I think we lost something again. Parts are falling off his damn truck. We got out to that stock car race, and I've never seen a stock car race. You always go to stock car races hoping for a crash, right? You want to see a few crashes during the night. These people, they want to see a crash on every lap. And unless that car is leaving the track and flying into the parking lot, hitting parked cars, running people over, tires coming off of cars, bouncing through the bleachers, nobody's happy. Tire came off a car. They're coming around the fourth turn. Tire comes off a car, hits the wall, goes way up over that 16-foot fence, lands in the crowd, knocks like 5 people out, and the whole crowd jumps up. Yay! They're all there. Wow, that's awesome. No ambulance, no EMS. They're just picking these people up, slapping them, dust them off. Oh, yeah, that was cool, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, I caught that tire right in the face. Yeah. Oh, no, they have a whole different kind of fun, man. I'm telling you. I got a kick out of them, though. I really did. They were fun folks. And that's one thing I liked about the Deep South, too, is there was a lot of folks. They pick up they could pick up a guitar and play, and they could sing, and it's just like that's just commonplace, all the way from grandma to the little kid that's crawling around in the yard that's mimicking daddy singing some song, and yeah, it was
good. If you got an acoustic guitar in the house, it does kind of make people levitate to trying to play with it and tinker with it and things like that. Mm-hmm. And it's not hard to have an acoustic. I mean, we've never had one growing up in here with the kids, but hey, you got an acoustic guitar, someone's liable to pick it up and try to play it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, all my kids play instruments except for one. They just, no one played guitar. They played, high school instruments. My one boy played drums. My daughter then went to college, learned how to play piano. Well, she actually self-taught herself piano. But.
Yeah.
That was the thing with today's stream with NBA, sitting there for over 2 hours staring at that mandolin hanging on his wall.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to reach over and take mine out of the case and tinker away on it. And I thought, well, I can't do that because I'll be concentrating on that instead of listening to the stream. But it's so true. If the instrument, and I'm following an age-old rule. They say that if you want to learn an instrument, don't keep it in the case in your house. Keep it where you got to look at it, where you got to see it all the time. Because like you said, Phil, it's so true. You see it, and then all of a sudden you get that inkling that you just need to pick it up. And
Yeah.
so I keep my instruments out in the open all the time, just so I pick it up. And yet you really don't have to spend a lot of time. 10, 15 minutes 4 or 5 times a day is actually a lot of practice. It's people don't realize you shouldn't sit there and spend 1, 2, 3 hours pounding to learn an instrument. That's the hardest way to learn it. If you pick it up and spend 15 minutes on it, and you do that 2, 3 times a day, you're actually going to learn it faster than you will if you sit there and try to pound it out. You start getting a little tone deaf after about a half hour. It's you start going, nothing sounds good. Nothing. And if you're only playing for 15, 20 minutes, yeah, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I love how Rollins' opinion of things. Sometimes you just got to think, I don't know what it sounds like to them. It sure sounds good to me. And so many times on his show he says, "Oh yeah, a couple more sips of shine and I'll be a 10."
Yeah.
You know, he said, and like he said tonight, sometimes you're sitting there jamming away, and oh hell yeah, you're all out of tune, and yeah. So what if you're enjoying yourself and it's real? It's real because you're not performing, you're just jamming. So don't worry about it so much. But performances and Sam's explanations on all that pre-stage fright and those types of issues, that shit's too real. I mean, yeah. I just don't know when the day will come I'll ever let anybody hear me playing anything. Yeah, we'll see. Poor people out at camp this summer. Yeah.
I look forward to it. I look forward to hearing anybody play, but since you've been talking about it, I've been itching to hear you. So.
and then Rollins saying, the one thing I regret is I didn't start sooner. I wished he could hear me because I didn't want to type it out. I wanted to say it. I wanted to say, I'm starting at 64th. Shut up, you ass. I played back in the mid 1970s, and that was it. Nothing all that time till now. I haven't played as long as Rollin has lived. So, don't say I wish I had started sooner. You want to meet somebody that wish he started sooner. Just think how good I could have been if I would have started when I was in my 20s.
Well, didn't you say you played when you were younger? You just stopped playing.
Yeah, but I did find it's not like riding a bike.
No.
I lost. Well, and the thing is, I'm playing different instruments other than the dulcimer. I played that back then, but I played the dulcimer and the banjo back then, and I crushed this left hand. It was all busted to shit. 3 of the fingers badly crushed and mutilated, and I just couldn't fret anymore. There's no way I could play. And I just gave it all up. So literally gave it up. And because I'd never picked an instrument up all those years, for 40 plus years, never touched an instrument. It wasn't like I thought, oh, this would be easy. This would be like just riding a bike. Once I pedaled it a while, it'll be good. Now the dulcimer, it's getting there where it's starting to sound like something when I try to play a song. It's pretty close,
When I started playing the uke instead of the keyboard, I was like thinking You're never gonna get through this. It's hard. It's hard on your fingers when you first start pushing down on those chords.
Oh yeah.
And Jay said to me, he goes, "Don't worry." He's like, "The more you do it, the easier it's gonna get." He's like, "Trust me." And he was right, because you build up these calluses on the tips of your fingers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't
yeah.
feel it. It's
And-
freaking numb.
That's yeah. That tips
feel
your
that.
fingers get numb, and
Yeah, they're all calloused and everything now. So.
the yeah, I'm not even close to it yet. But you know, one thing I found, and it's made it so easy for me, is I bought that fast fret. I'm going to order a fast fret and have it sent to you, Sam. You got to try that. That stuff, man, does that. It smooths your strings out so nice. And you put it on and you use this. There's a cloth that comes with it, and you wipe the fretboard and the strings after you apply it. And there's no residue, but your fingers slide on the strings so sweet. And it's just like it. I don't know why, but it makes it so much more comfortable for fretting. I thought, wow, I had someone tell me, oh, you got to try it. You got to try it, especially if you're just starting out. It'll help you build those calluses up, but it'll make it a lot more comfortable to do it.
Oh,
I thought, I'll try it. I tried it, and then I find out there's all kinds of guitar players, pros using it. So
Night, Mike.
there's a reason for it. Hey, you have a very good night, Mike. We'll see you, buddy. Take good care. Yeah, before they started talking about, oh yeah, after so many beers, they all become 10s, when they were like, oh yeah, I've had 4 beers, she's a 5, and that kind of thing.
Beer goggles.
Yeah. I mean, when I first started drinking, when we'd see a gal when we'd had enough beers, we'd go, whoa, check this 12-pack out. We didn't have the 1 to 10 thing. It was, oh, she's a 6-pack. Oh, there's a 12-pack. Yeah. Yeah, we rated them by the number of beers we drank, not by their number, It's really a bummer, though, when you go home with a 10, a 12-pack. You go home with a 12-pack and you wake up in the morning to Boone's Farm. Oh, shit.
Oh, jeez.
It's a bummer. Yeah, that. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to wake up in the morning singing, "Who let the dogs out?" Yeah.
Jeez.
Hey, Raven. Go, Wani.
Wani. Thank you, buddy. Good to see you, dude.
Yeah, your song was awesome this morning. But boy, you did so good on it live for the first live attempt. It was on NBA. Yeah, love the new song, and I just loved the way you pulled it off during his stream. That was
That damn cold, man. It's
yeah,
in my butt. But I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah,
I was sniveling the whole time, and
yeah, that's
had a couple frogs reach my throat too. It was. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's that time of year. And I jinxed myself the other day because I was like, "Oh, I haven't been sick this whole time." Shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Got the cred.
Well, I embarrassed the hell out of myself when I was out at camp and I was doing that video work. I didn't have the video camera on, and I'm walking around a loop at the campground. There's nobody there. There's nobody out there. And top of my lungs, I'm singing In the Pines, right? And I come around this corner, and there's a guy standing there staring at me. And I told him, I said, I'm sorry you had to hear that. I missed my singing lessons this morning. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I know some people that I really thought they were cool. I thought they were neat people. And then I got serious and wasn't drinking so much, and I'd run into these people and go, "What a dick!" I mean, I kind of liked you back when I drank, but oh my God, you aren't. Yeah, you ain't somebody I really want to know. And now you think I'm your buddy, but you're a dick. I don't know. I don't like you. Yeah. Hey, Bourbon Bonnie. Just stopped in to say hi to Sam.
He's so funny.
Yeah. I mean, I can picture him standing outside the Sty Shack looking through the windowsill and yelling, "Hi, Sam!" right in the middle of everybody's conversation. "Hi, Sam. Hi. I'm just here to say hi to Sam, folks. Yeah. The hell with the rest of you. Yeah, I can see it."
Yeah, that does help, Guani, but I've been on the wagon as of late, so I'm gonna have to think of something else.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what.
Last time I drank, I got too drunk, and I think I was live with one of these folks, and we were doing a panel. Well, I felt it for 2 whole days, and I was like, nope, not doing that again, and I haven't. So
that's why for those I watch. Yeah. I don't get involved. I don't get in it. I've had a couple of incidents on YouTube myself, so
yeah.
Hi, folks. Yeah, an hour later, it's, where am I? What channel is this? What the hell are we talking about? Did I really say that?
Yeah. Yeah, usually I'm so quiet, but when I noticed, I went back and watched a couple, I was like, oh gosh, shut up, Sam.
There's times where looking back is just not the best thing to do.
I know
you're better off not remembering. Yeah.
What's up, Bourbon Bounty?
Travel trailer, sweet.
Nice.
There you go.
Now you got to do is find time to go traveling.
That's
I know he puts a lot of hours in, so
yeah.
I know he'll be driving that to Alaska.
Right. Well, we looked at the campers years ago when we got our Silverado. Now, of course, our Silverado's been replaced with the Blazer. But man, we were looking at campers. Our friends had a camper. We were going to get a camper, so we didn't have to do the whole tent up, tent down. We could just grab it and go anytime we wanted to. And I started thinking, I started looking at my hours, and we can't just grab it and go anytime we want to. It just
Yeah.
So even our friends, about the time, I think it was about a year and a half later, the ones we would have gone with, they sold theirs.
Yeah. I've got a couple of friends. They spent $185,000 on an RV, and it's sweet, man. Went to visit them, and I said, "Are we in the guest room?" They said, "No, you get to stay in the new RV." And I said, "Oh, that's cool." He says, "I just parked it." He says, "Come on, let's go out and set it up." He opens this little panel on the side of it, and it looks like a computer tablet. All of a sudden, this damn thing starts growing and doing shit, and I'm step back. I go, "What the hell?" These jacks come down, and they level that big RV out, and all of a sudden, 3 pop-outs on that thing, and they're coming out, and pop outs all set up, and we walk over to the damn door to get in. Here comes the steps come out. I go, all you did was push some buttons. He goes, oh, I don't do nothing. He says, I don't have to do shit. I walked in that thing and I go, why do you live in your house? That thing was, I mean, it was 5-star. It was just absolutely to die for. The stinking shower in it. You could put 4 people in that shower. I mean, it had a full bathroom. It had, I mean, that stinking RV was so freaking awesome. I told him I could see investing 185 grand if I didn't own a house and buying that and moving around and just living in it. That's your home, you know? And he says, no, we got it for camping trips. I said, camping? I wouldn't even park that thing near an open fire anywhere. No way in hell. I mean, the thing was too damn pretty. I mean,
well, and then are you camping in that really, or are you just living somewhere else?
Glamping. We call it glamping.
Yeah.
It's glamour camping.
Yeah.
And I saw one out at camp a few years ago, and that was a big bastard. It was 41 feet, 41 foot long RV, backed in, gets all set up, and they're setting all their lawn furniture and shit up in the campsite, and I'm in the next campsite after the sun goes down. Holy shit. It's like broad daylight, and I look over there, and here's a 20-foot screen that came down on the side of that thing, and they're projecting a movie on it, and they got all these speakers built in, louder than it's like being in a drive-in theater. And they're all sitting in their camp chairs out there with a campfire watching a movie. And I thought, do they think they're camping?
Right.
They must think they're camping. Oh no, that's the way we camp.
You almost need to put your cell phones away for camping. Use them for recording stuff and things like that. But you almost need to put your cell phones away for good camping.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had a 34-footer that had everything in it, and but it wasn't high end. But boy, to me that felt like I was staying in a cottage somewhere, in a cabin somewhere, And yeah, pretty damn comfortable. They can make them pretty comfortable. Now for me, because I like it being a little more rugged, hell, I use my utility trailer. This year it's going to be like the Taj Mahal. I got electricity. I'm going to have all my computer equipment, studio, everything inside that tiny little camper. But I've got outside shelters too. I got a 10x10 canopy that goes off the side of it. I got my big screen house that goes up. That's my outdoor kitchen. So my camp is going to have all of the bells and whistles. It'll be almost too comfortable, but I want my summer. I got to work to be there. So
you're going to be there for 4 or 5 months, right?
4.5 months, and I got to work. I mean,
might as well be comfortable.
That's one thing I'm going to put in my videos while I'm out there is, see, guys, I'm not on vacation. I'm working for the Forest Service to be able to just stay here at camp instead of going home at the end of the day.
Looks like Kathy's inviting some guys camping. It says I got an 8-man tent.
Yeah.
Oh
wow.
Sounds like she wants some company.
Wow. Kathy, do you sleep in the top bunk? Or do you prefer the bottom bunk? Yeah, I had for camp, we had what we called pods, and they're a single person tent. And nice and roomy for a single person. You put a cot in there, and you can put gear in there. It's good room, tall enough ceiling that you can basically walk in. And but clients, I had this married couple, and they both signed up for a week, and they get there, and we assign them their campsites. Well, I put them adjacent to each other, and the gal goes, "Well, why do we have two campsites?" I said, "Well, our pods are one-person shelters, so we gave you each your own." And she goes, "Well, they're not big enough for us to share." I said, "Well, that depends on what you prefer, the top bunk or the bottom bunk, you know." He burst out laughing. And he says, "Does each campsite come with a doghouse? Because that's where I'll be sleeping." Those two actually loved their week there being in separate tents. They actually enjoyed the hell out of it. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember what night of the week it was, but it was a few days into the camp. A few of my campers said, "God, it got really noisy over in our area last night." And I said, "What do you mean noisy?" And they said, "Well, those two had a date night." I said, "Oh, shit, okay." Yeah, not wise when everything there is canvas.
Not usually what we do when we go camping, just saying.
Oh, hey, I like a little peace on earth once in a while myself. You know, I'm a peaceful kind of guy. You know, a little peace on earth, never hurt anybody, unless of course there's sticker bushes close by.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
You don't
I
want
gotta
one
get
of them
going.
cockleburrs. Hey, okay, sweetie.
Thanks for having me. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Have a good night, Sam.
I wish I was there for dinner.
I know. I gotta go shopping still. I don't even know what I'm making.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
See you guys.
See ya.
See ya,
Take
Sam.
care, sweetie.
Bye, everybody.
Yep.
Well, now it's not buzzing no more.
Yeah.
I don't know
She
if
doesn't
it's
have
the
the-
computer going, if that's her fan going.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's something that's creating a static feedback. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Kawani, I'm not fishing yet. I'm going to do plenty of fishing at camp. And I got 3 weeks, and I'll be in camp. Then in the evenings, early mornings, I'll wet a line, just because I can when I want, but for right now, I'm too busy just getting everything in order to be gone for 4.5 months. I finally got all of my frickin' bills all figured out and adjusted payment dates so that when I show up on the 12th of each month here at home, I could spend an hour and just go ping, 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 pays all my next month's bills. And then I don't have to think about them going to camp the following month on the first Wednesday. Do the same thing. But the first Wednesday of every month is when I pay my bills. So my landlord, I don't understand them. I said, I'm going to be paying you for the month of June, the first Wednesday of May. And then in June, I'll be paying you for the month of July, the first Wednesday of June. I'll be almost
2 months ahead, almost.
Yeah. I'm going to be ahead of the game all the time, paying you the rent. No. Your rent is due on the first of the month. We don't want your rent way before that. And I go, you don't want my fucking money? I said, because if you're going to force me to pay it exactly on the first, because you can't electronically pay it, can't pay it with a credit card, and you can't pay it with cash. You got to give them a check.
Personal check. Gotcha.
Personal check. And I told him, I said, watch it. You're pissing me off. I'll send you 5 checks, one for each coming month, and then you deposit them on the first. Oh, don't do that. I said, you don't get it. I'm not going to be here on the damn first to pay you. And so I pulled my lease and went back down there, stuck it in her nose, and I said, read this. She reads it and she goes, yeah, it's due on the first. I said, no. It says rent payment must be received on or before the first of each month. Do you see the before word in there?
Yeah.
Quit skipping that.
The 12th is before.
And it doesn't say how much before.
Right.
I'll pay you for next year's rent now. Her argument is technically your lease is a 30-day lease. It renews every month. I said, no, that's already been proven by our district court that this lease is an annual lease because you require me to do an annual recertification for you, and you tell me what my rent is for the next year. You've implied, it's an implied policy that you just waived the month-to-month lease requirement because you're telling me what's going to happen for a year. And the courts here have already ruled in somebody else's case that that's what it is. It's a 1-year lease. I said, you can evict me within that year, but it's got to be with cause. It can't be just because you want to. It's got to be with cause because you've got a 1-year agreement with me. I said, so I should pay the whole damn year and see how you like that.
Yeah, but then you'd go and croak, and then, running water would have to get the money back, and, there'd be this whole debacle, and,
Come to think about it, I don't think I'd care at that point,
Yeah.
Yeah. Something tells me when I die, I'm not going to go, oh, I wonder if they're able to handle everything okay. I hope it's going okay. I hope they managed to get that paid. And, oh, I hope they got that deposit back. No, something tells me that the day after I croak, I ain't going to give a shit anymore.
Yeah, I got a feeling probably the same way. Yep.
And running water, he's such a good egg about it. He goes, yep, it's going to be my problem.
Well, at least they don't have to have a home they got to worry about selling.
Right.
No.
And the nice thing is literally between my 2 boys, literally everything I own, they want. They want it. They don't. I told them, I said, you can sell the trailer, you can sell the truck, you can sell all my camping shit.
The plastic distilled water containers, they want those?
Yeah.
A bunch of those.
Not anymore.
You said you got rid of those, yeah.
Yeah, I stomped the shit out of them. In fact, now, I go through one at least every 2 weeks for the distilled ones. And now I only get to have fun popping the lid off one every couple of weeks. I don't collect them and make it sound like there's World War III going on in my kitchen. But that was fun, man. You stop on a gallon jug with one of those pop-on caps. Boom, boom, boom. I had caps all over the damn place. It's funner than popping those bubble wrap cheeks.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, I don't get off on popping that bubble wrap stuff. Some people, every time they see it, they got to, I could care less.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy Pickles. Hey, it's great to see you. Thanks for being here. Stopped paying my grandma's phone bill because they wouldn't let me cancel it, and got her a straight talk phone for $15 a month. Yeah. It was funnier than hell. Okay, so I got this company calling me for about, it went on for about 3 about 3 years. And they're saying, you owe this debt. I said, I'd never done business with you a day of my life. Well, you are so-and-so. I said, yeah. They said, well, yeah, you have an account with us and you owe X, Y, Z. And I said, I don't have no damn account with you. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Then I realized, oh, shit. That was one of my dad's accounts. He did. He'd been gone for 15 years by that time. And I go, you're talking to the wrong guy. That was my dad. And they go, but you said you're that person. I said, no. I'm his namesake. I was named after him. I'm not him. He dead. And they said, can you give us a copy of his death certificate or something to prove that? And I said, oh, yeah. I faxed it to him. They called me right back. They said, all these apologies. And, oh, no, we just write that off. The debt's gone. Blah, blah. Thank you very much. Thanks for straightening that out. Then I had someone call me, and it was my debt. You know how hard it was for me to not say to him, well, that ain't me. That's my dad. He's dead. You want a copy of his birth or his death certificate? He's been dead for years.
Yep.
That ain't me. It was pretty freaking tempting, boy. Oh, wow, I could just wipe all my debt off. My pop is dead. Yeah.
It worked for real when it was real. I wonder if I can make it work for real when it's not.
Right. Well, I had the same situation with the IRS. They sent me, can't remember what it was, $1,800, I think it was. I didn't have no $1,800 coming from them. And I called them up and said, I got this check for $1,800. No, I know. I said, all my taxes are in order. Everything's in order. There's no way you guys owe me that money. Well, yes, we do. Our record shows and on and on and on. And it took me about 3 weeks telling them where to look, and then they figured it out. It was because the year of my father's death, his taxes had been prepared, but he had died in the same tax year, and so they didn't send him his money. They got it all screwed up, and they never matched social security numbers together on it. They just matched names. So they thought I'm him, so they sent me the money, and I should have just taken it and cashed it, but I was afraid they'd come back later and say that they would have figured it out and said, oh, you took that money, you shouldn't have touched that. So I figured I got to get it away from me, as far as I can.
There's a lady. Oh, go ahead.
I made it tough for my mother because it took her almost a year and a half for them to finally reissue the check in her name to her, because the return was due and she was his spouse at the time. So the check should go to her, but it took about a year and a half to finally get them to issue it to her. I mean, that was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I read a thing today that a lady, I forget what state it's in, but she had like this stock trading account type thing, and they're going through and they're updating the accounts and everything, and they accidentally, where they're supposed to put like $82 or something in her account, they put like $1.2 million in her account.
Holy shit.
Well, she automatically saw it. She made it to where no one could get in there and take the money back out. She went out and bought a house. And she bought like a $70,000 Genesis SUV thing I was reading about. Well, right now she's in jail because they've gotten back about 80% of their money, but they haven't gotten back the other. And they've actually, got the lady in jail and is working. I'm thinking, yeah, now it is their mistake. The reason they're jailing her is because they realize their mistake. And they tried to phone call her. They tried to email her. They tried to get a hold of her. And she wouldn't return any of the calls or anything else.
Right.
And they got her. She's in jail and she's awaiting if they can get her their money back, but
Wow.
yeah, right now she's been in jail for like 30 days, it seems like. So.
Ouch. Ouch.
Good night,
Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah, no matter how sweet it smells, it's horseshit. Don't go there. I mean, it's not worth it. It's just, straight up simple honesty and just say, God, I wish I could,
Yeah.
but just don't allow yourself to go.
Well, she's in jail now. She's got a house and a car. I don't know how it's all going to pan out in the long run.
Right. Yeah. The house and the car, I'm sure, will get nabbed up, and they'll.
Oh yeah, I mean, they'll
liquidate it to help cover off that 20%.
Well, they'll come and nab anything. They'll come and drug seize stuff from your house, and you'd be all legal and everything else. They'll come and take your house, take everything that you own, and then when it comes back that you're not guilty, guess what? You ain't getting none of your shit back.
Right. Okay. Now
they don't give you these assets back.
I was victim to that. I lost almost 80 grand in equipment.
You talk about the restaurant, right?
No, I was a partner with a guy on a dock business. We started a dock business.
The dock business, right?
And that asshole wasn't paying his tax. Well, he wasn't even filing. The guy made about 180 grand a year as a pilot for Flying Tigers, and he wasn't filing his damn taxes. 5 years he went without filing taxes. Well, same deal. They kept sending him letters, trying to call him. He just wouldn't take their calls, wouldn't respond. We'll see you, James.
See you, Freeman.
And and that bugger, all of a sudden, we got a shop, right? And the lease of the shop is in both our names. We're leasing the building. All my equipment, I bought all the hardware, big wood planer and all the saws, jigs, everything to cut all the materials for the docks. He invested in the hardware side. I invested in the construction wood side. But we shared the same building. All of a sudden, one day, I get to the building about 7 o'clock in the morning. I all set to go to work. The ex-wife and I just about peed ourselves. There's cop cars all over. There's tape around the damn building, around the parking area and stuff. And I jumped out and run up there and go, what's going on? What happened? You guys find a body or something? I didn't want any kind of bad news on my property. Oh, no. They hand me a letter. It's the IRS, and it's a notice of seizure. They seized the property. I said, whoa. Is this against me? And they said, are you Weldon so-and-so? And I said, no, that's my partner. And they said, you picked a bad partner. 2 years later, after going through IRS court proceedings, I mean, literally in that court 2-3 times a month for 2 years. All the damn hearings we went through. End of the day, no, everything on the premises, which I didn't agree with, because why not the building, the property? I was a partner with this guy, and as far as I'm concerned, the landlord that we leased the building from was a partner with us.
Right.
So why didn't he lose his property? And I had receipts, serial numbers, everything for that. But nope, I lost it all. Because we were in a partnership. And I'll never do a partnership ever again in my life. I'll create an LLC and have somebody as a partner in an LLC, but not a personal, private, sole proprietorship type partnership. No, never again, ever again. Because I lost 80-some grand, and there was nothing I could do about it. And then what did they do? They sold my $80,000 worth of shit for about $24,000. That's all they got for it, and that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That was almost just the planer that we had. That would barely cover that planer in its current condition. You'd be lucky to buy one for that. and that's all they got was 24 grand for $85,000 worth of shit. So somebody came out smelling like a rose. And so, and then it all came down to Weldon was just being fucking cheap and lazy. He didn't want to file his taxes. They were withholding taxes on his salary, but he never filed to justify. You know, you gotta reconcile that your income and expenses, and he never did any of that for 5 years. And they said, guess what? There's a law against not doing that, and that's what they used to nail his ass. And what they charged him with was estimated taxes. They never did do that 5 years of taxes. They didn't go back and redo them. I helped him and an accountant friend of ours go back and redo his taxes for 5 years. The court refused to even review them. They said no. He had all the opportunity. We've got 3 years of monthly communications to him that he never responded to. We are not going back. We're not giving him any privilege of redoing his taxes or nothing. No, we're going with the IRS's estimated tax. And that was insane. I mean, because their estimated tax worked out to about 41% of what he actually.
You don't have deductions and all that.
Yeah, because you don't get the deductions or nothing. Yeah, and so he ended up owing, I think it was 150 grand after they sold everything.
Damn.
He still owed 150 grand.
That's what I ask you. Usually when they sell your shit, they don't get nothing out for it. So they sold $80,000 worth of for $24,000. You're like, but that was $80,000 worth of stuff, and then it's only going.
It just it still makes me sick when
it does.
You know, things that happen in life that you can't, no matter what you do, you cannot undo it, and you just look out to not have that happen again. That's all, you know.
Damn government.
yeah. Damn government. Damn Weldon. Did, if he would have done his damn taxes, nothing would. Oh shit. Yep. And the dock business was starting to boom. It was getting good, and I thought, holy shit.
Well, that was the person I was telling you about. You know, it's a guy I used to work with, and he was in charge, and he started growing the amount of medical marijuana plants that you can grow in your house before everything was legal.
Right.
Now, whether or not he was doing more than that, I don't know.
Right.
But he was doing it for his mom. And again, if you're growing 7 plants, and you're doing things the right way, you're growing a lot.
Yeah.
Of pot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. More than you could need. And for just a grandmother. But they came to his place, they took all of his laptops, took all his RV, took everything, took everything basically but his freaking house.
Yep.
And then he got fired from his job because he didn't have cars to get back and forth to work. They had to go out and they had to go buy a junker car and had one car. And then of course he's been in court for this thing for I want to say 4 or 5 years, and now it's all legal. But
Jesus, yeah.
He didn't go to jail. But they seized all of his stuff, and he's been going to court. I don't know what the end result is. Like, he's a person I really don't care for very much. But every now and then he'll message me about something, like I'm his buddy, and it's like, yeah, oh well, you know.
Oh well.
Yeah. I know how he was when I worked with him, and I think he probably got the 7 plants going, and he probably got more than that going down in the basement, trying to find loopholes or think of loopholes that I won't get caught and things like that. And you never think you're going to get caught doing something
until you do.
Right? Yep.
Well, that's like this outfit my youngest boy worked for. The owner, it's a restaurant bar, and he screwed up with the IRS big time. And they had him dead to rights. They had him dead to rights for tax evasion. Well, the amount of taxes that they charged him with evading was $750,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this is, he makes 2 to 3 million a year off that this restaurant he's got, that establishment. So it added up. So he owed him $750,000 and he was evading it. Well, they came and they caught him. And it was nice because the way those were personal taxes based on the dividends he gave himself out of their corporation for the business. His son and his wife were partners in that corporation. The IRS didn't take the corporation. They didn't take the property, nothing. They were after him, period. They told him, you pony up 750 grand and you're going to serve 1 year in prison. And he basically told them to F off. All of a sudden that deal was off the table, and it's, guess what? You're going to pay the 750 grand plus interest, plus penalties, blah, blah, blah. And you're doing 10 to 15.
Oh, wow.
It cost him $1 million to stay free and to get all but 100,000 of that 750 removed. So he had to pay 150 grand, sign here, pay it, and you get to stay out of jail. But it cost him $1 million in attorney's fees. And I looked him right in the eyes. I go, are you freaking mad, Ed? You paid a law firm $1 million freaking dollars to get out of that tax debt? He goes, no, I paid him that $1 million to keep my ass out of prison. He said it had nothing to do with the money. He said if the IRS would have accepted, if they would have accepted $1 million and dropped the whole thing, I would have given it to him.
Right.
He said, but I didn't want that jail time. No way in hell.
10, 15, you're done.
And for him especially, he was in his late 50s at the time.
Yeah. Well, you're done making money. You're done everything,
Everything. His son would be doing good with the business and his wife, and he'd be in prison. So to him, it was worth $1 million. And they finally got that paid off. They paid the attorneys off, but it took them a while. But again, it was one of those things where, how long did it take him to rack up 750,000 that he evaded? That they were hiding things in the books and shit. Turns out it took him about 7 years.
I was thinking 5. So
yeah, it took him about 7 years. It was 6 years, 6.5 years or something, for them to hide the income and shit, so that he didn't have to pay that out. And I told him, I said, so you spent $1 million on the attorneys, and it was a payment basically he mortgaged that $1 million for 10 years. I said, so you paid 100 grand a year to the attorneys for 10 years, when all you would have had to have paid is 75,000 a year for 6 years to the IRS.
Come on, it's easy to say it now, Sty.
It's easy to say now. Yeah. At the time, and the 75 grand a year, that money got pissed away. I mean, he didn't buy anything.
Was he paying no taxes, or he just wasn't paying all of his taxes?
He just wasn't paying all of them. He was evading.
So he thought he was getting away with something,
right?
Claiming something or doing something. After 7 years, they caught up with his ass.
Yep, and that was it. Is they had an IRS auditor come in, and they spent 3 months coming in there every couple of days or so as a customer, and they're doing customer counts, employee counts, contacting the utility companies, his suppliers, and calculating up what's this place making. And over a 3-month period, they extrapolated that out a year, and they said, so that's what he makes. And then they averaged it, and they said that's what he makes approximately every year. He's
Sneaky
about
bastard.
he's about 100,000 shy on his taxes compared to what he's actually making. You know, so yeah, they caught him. They got, you know, they'll do that shit. They'll do that shit.
Someone had to give him a reason to look.
That's it. That's it. I think he did have an accountant that he fired partway into that 7 years, that 6.5 years. There was an accountant in there that he had fired, and they not on very good terms. And I'm thinking that's the character that got a hold of IRS. You know,
Yeah, IRS usually, it's hard for them to find these little. I mean, that's $750,000 a lot of money, but not over a 6.5 year period of time. In most cases, if you're defrauding the company or the country for that kind, I would say, unless you're doing it haphazardly, you get away with it.
Yeah.
But in most cases, you've got an employee that is in on what you're doing, and they understand what's going on. And if you let that son of a gun go, so they kind of own you, because when you let that son of a gun go, unless you leave on them with very good terms, they turn your ass in.
That's it. That's it. Well, for the one tribe I worked for, I was kind of forced into that damn position. I kept, oh no, I don't want it. I don't want it. And they go, you already work for us over here. We're just moving you to here. I said, I don't want to move. I'm good where I'm at. Leave me alone. I had a real cushy job. It was making me about 50 grand a year. I thought I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable where I'm at. Oh no, they moved me over there. And it was right after a mass embezzlement scheme. Now that I knew it was going on a good year before it ever broke, you know. I just knew how it was going because I dealt with that accounting division. In the division I was in, they managed our payroll for us and a couple other things under contract. And there was shenanigans going on, especially when they're asking me for estimated payrolls next month in advance. Would you pay that in advance for us? No, I send you a check the day before the payroll run. You deposit it in the bank and you run the payroll for my organization. That's the way it works. I only prepay you by 2 days. I don't prepay you a month in advance. Oh yeah, well, you gotta do it. Well, and then I would see all of these certain key employees in that accounting division at the casino dropping $1,000, $2,000 a night, almost every night of the week, except for Saturdays and Sundays. It was work nights. What are they doing in there in the first place? They got to work in the morning. Where are they getting all this cash? They don't make that kind of money. You can't lose $1,000, $2,000 a night, 5 days a week.
Right.
Not when your weekly paycheck is $800. You know, I had it all added up, and I went to the political leaders at the time and told them what I saw, and they said, "Oh no, we've already looked into that. No, it's all legit. It's all legit." Well, then when it popped, it was one employee in that accounting division that finally said her son, he registered to go to college, and they get Bureau of Indian Affairs funds to help them go to college. So she went to the education department and said, my son got accepted at the college, and we need our BIA money for him for tuition. And they said, oh, we'll have to put him on a waiting list because we're broke. We're out of money. What? You can't be out of money. The federal government gave you almost $1 million for the education funds for everybody on the reservation goes to college. Where's that $1 million? No, that's all been used up. We were informed by the accounting division that there's no money in our fund. Well, this gal, her son's not going to college because there's no BIA money available. She called the FBI. said, something's wrong here. I know that they got $1 million appropriation, and it's gone, and it's gone within 4 months. And my son can't go to college now. So the feds came in and they investigated. And they hired me as an independent contractor to come in and do full account reconciliations for every single checking account and financial holding account for the tribe. Well, that wasn't fun. They only had 63 accounts, which is insane. When I ended up being their financial officer, I whittled that down, and we had 7 accounts. We had 7 accounts managing 425 branches of the tribe. That's all. You don't need all these damn bank accounts, because the more bank accounts you have, the more apt you are to lose control of one, right?
Sure.
And so when they got done with their investigation, guess what? The tribal treasurer went to federal prison. Their senior accountant for the division, she went to federal prison. And 21 employees got canned and were put under full investigation. So there was a total of 23 people that lost their careers, either went to prison or just nobody would hire them because they're embezzlers. And to find out that 21 or 20, well, the whole accounting division except for one person was involved in it.
Wow.
And the way they were involved is they would take payroll advances. Oh, can I get my paycheck early? Sure. Get paid every 2 weeks. This is the first week of the pay period. Okay, we'll estimate your income for the pay period and we'll advance you 80% of it. Okay, fine. And then at the end of the pay date, they're only going to get 20% of their check, you know. But the next payday, they go, well, I only got 20% of my check and I'm really hurting. Can I get another payroll advance? Oh, sure. Treasurer would approve it. Okay. So every payday, they're only getting a check for $100 or so. They can't live on that because they pissed away the money they got in advance. Now, all of a sudden, those employees are taking a payroll advance out every week for 80% of what they'll make in 2 weeks. So they're taking 160% of what their paycheck will be. And they did that for 4 months, 21 people.
Mm.
The one gal, $83,000 in payroll advances. Her annual salary was $41,000.
Someone caught on to some kind of little thing in there and then told it to everybody, and everybody got in on it except for one person. And then the worst thing in the world for someone that's in a scheme like that, they went and they injured that one person that didn't want a part of it. Really?
By her son not being able to go to school. He couldn't go to college. And it was because they took all the money. And it ended up being $1.5 million they took from their own tribe. And it was terrible. It was terrible. I couldn't believe it. This one gal, the one that took $83,000, I had her in front of the tribal council. It's executive session, you know, public's not there. And she's going through basically a hearing. And I'm cross-examining her. And I asked her, I said, why is it I saw you in the casino all the time? You were there all the time. And you'd go up to the cage and you'd get 5 racks of dollar tokens. That's $500. And you do that a couple times, 3 times, sometimes 4 times a night. And I'd see you in there almost every single work night. So is that where all that $83,000 went? She goes, well, no. She said, you know, I don't make that much money. I said, you're making 41 grand a year. you're a single parent with one kid. And she says, I need to feed my kid on 41 grand a year. And she was living in tribal housing. She was paying $140 a month rent.
Yeah, so she's got plenty of money.
She got plenty of money. And I said, I can't believe you pissed all that money away in the casino. I said, so can you explain to me where that money went if it didn't go into that casino? And she goes, have you seen how fat my kid is? She goes, you can tell I've been feeding my son. I said, your kid ate $83,000 worth of food in 6 months? I don't think so.
Well, the casino with the cameras could record how much she's spending a night.
Well, that's it. That
It doesn't take a fucking genius if she's when you can record everything she's taking a night. It doesn't take a genius to figure out where the money went.
And her argument was that she didn't just play our casino. She would go to the neighboring tribe and play there, and she'd win. And then she'd bring her winnings over, and that's what she was playing in our casino. It wasn't our money. It was that tribe's money because she won it over there, come over here and lose it.
Bullshit.
And she got really upset when I said, that shame. I'm under contract with that neighboring tribe to do internal audits for their casino. You don't think I can get the surveillance from there and find out? Have you been hitting big over there? I said, don't lie to us here, because everything we're talking about, there's a record.
Right.
And I said, and that goes for all 21 of these assholes that stole your money. Yeah. But I hate to say, and that's the way I always felt too, is sometimes if you're a dishonest person and you get hung up in that really bad dishonesty thing, your just desserts might not come in the way of finances either. The tribal treasurer, like I said, he got sentenced to federal prison. He was supposed to serve 10 years. They only had him in there for a year, and then they actually released him. And 2 days after he got out of prison, he was in hospice and died in 4 days. The guy's health went right through the ground, and it killed him.
Wow.
The other person, she served 3 of her 10. She had a 10-year sentence. She served 3 of it, and they released her because she had terminal cancer, but she was going through the cancer treatments, and she's one of those miracles, it went into remission, and she's still here. She's still alive and well. And, but basically living just above poverty, because she can get a job cleaning here or there, doing things like that. Nobody will let her touch money ever again, because she took 140 grand. The gal that took the $3,000, and why, I don't know, but the tribe elected her as their tribal secretary or treasurer, as the treasurer of their tribe. After she embezzled $83,000, they elected her by general election to be their tribal treasurer. And you think, well, she didn't have to pay for her sins, No, it came back to get her. She married a fella that he was up to no good. He had a little robbery ring going, and 4 or 5 guys working with him, and they're going around robbing all these summer homes out here. And they got caught with all of this stolen goods in their garage, in their house. And she was aware of the whole operation. She lived in the middle of it, and she was fully aware. So they didn't charge her with it, but they used it to impeach her from office, and now she can't run for office again. So it came back, it bit her, and that's it. That's why I always say, if you can do somebody a good turn, do it, because someday down the road it'll come back to visit you as another good turn, And but if you're just gonna cheat people all the time, don't be surprised if it happens to you.
It'll come back to you.
It'll probably come back.
Oh,
Hey,
it will.
Cheesehead.
There usually isn't a probably. It's usually when it comes back to you.
Yeah.
You may get away with it for a very, very long time, but it's going to be, at or near your deathbed if it has to be, and it eventually come back at you.
That's it. Well, and that's it. I would not want to be one of those people and have to spend my whole life wondering when.
Right.
When is it going to come back and bite me? Oh my God. Only a couple of times in my life did something sneak up on me and I go, oh, I screwed up, and there it is. It came to get me, But then those weren't intentional things, and to have done something intentionally like that and have to worry about it coming to haunt you later, I wouldn't want to live that way. No way in hell. There's not much worse than that I can think of that you have to sit and deal with.
You're constantly worried about it, right?
Yeah. And that stress and worry is what makes people sick. Yeah, here it comes.
Right.
Yeah. That's what the video I did of me running down the camp. I got to finish editing that tomorrow and get it posted. But I even say in there, I was so busy that morning just getting ready to go and do what I'm doing this summer. And I started thinking, I got about 10 lists, and I'm writing lists and I'm running around getting this, doing that. And he's going to sneak up on me in camp. Hey, Mayberry, good to see you. Good night, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
But I said in that video, all of a sudden the light came on. I decided, no, I'm tired of being stressed out over this. I'd rather be at camp and not have to think about this crap, how to get there from here, So I'm taking the afternoon off. Hell, I'm going to drive down there and just wander around camp. And I did. I spent the whole afternoon just moseying around camp, and I went to the second campground. I've been there, but I've never been there to walk through it and look at each site and stuff. And yeah, I spent a couple hours there wandering around camp. Found a lot of shit that I got to do before the campers start getting in there.
Sure.
But yeah, none of it was stressful, man. It was just enjoyable. I didn't think about nothing. I didn't worry about YouTube. I didn't worry about camp. I didn't worry about nothing.
Well, even when you're out there at camp, you look at what you got to do. You got to look at things that you got to take care of, and it's something different than what you got to take care of at home. Even though you're in an apartment, I'm sure there's stuff around there, things that over at the kids' house that you want to take care of. But that's old stuff to take care of. You got something new to focus your attention on out at camp, and it gets you your juices kind of flowing again.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, I know there's going to be a lot of work involved. There just is,
Yeah.
I mean, being the campground host isn't just sitting there waving at people as they pull in. You got to actually be out there. You got to greet them. You got to get them set up. You got to answer their questions. You got to break up fights between campsites. And you always have that one person that shows up and says, I've got a reservation for that site and there's somebody in it. I got to look it up and go, well, they've got a reservation also. And their reservation was made on this date. Their reservation has priority. I can't kick them out of their site. Sorry because we don't handle you making a reservation. So we just handle when you show up.
Right.
And if it's double booked, the best I can do is give me a few minutes. I'll contact one of our campgrounds that are just within minutes of here, and we'll get you a site somewhere. And to make you even happier, I'll fill out a couple of free camping passes. Now you can come and camp again later in the summer or next year and not pay for it, you know. So basically this camping trip earned you a free one. Well, you're doing that shit every day of the week. But like you said, I'm excited about doing it because it's not what I normally do.
Right.
It's something so new, and it's not going to. It's almost like the excitement of getting a job that you've always wanted, and you watched other people doing it, and you're going, God, I wish that was me.
Right.
If I was only there, I'd love it. And then finally they say, yeah, come to work. You can do that. Yeah, your first couple of months at work are a blast because it's new, and it's after you've been there a couple of months or so, then it's like, yeah, same old shit, just like the rest of life.
It's a job now.
Yeah. Where at least out at camp, if I get that way, I could say, the hell with it, I'll go fishing.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm getting bored with camp. I'm going to go out fishing. Or I'm going to drive to town and eat at McDonald's or something. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting. It'll be quite interesting.
Well, I could tell you, if I were older, I'd be envious of you and be able to go out there and have the time where you can actually go and do that. So wish it would be something I could, it'd be, it sounds like work, but work where you're relaxing,
Yeah.
Be like working on a cruise ship, even though the cruise ship people work their freaking asses off. But if you could work at the cruise ship 50% of the time, and your other 50% of the time is enjoying the amenities of the cruise ship, it'd be all right.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
People is 90% of the time they're working.
Right. And that's what I like about this hosting thing. If I would have really known how much the Forest Service is, they're willing to do just about anything to make it easy for me.
Right.
And the
Chris.
Oh, look at Chris. Yeah, he's trying to schmooze me for some free passes. You gotta
free pass.
Yeah, you gotta do something for us to get a free pass, or we have to be able to tell our supervisors we did something bad to that person. I'm not gonna lie for you. After I explained to my supervisor, Chris, not this Chris, after I explained to him what Cheesehead's all about, he'll say, no, we'll give him some coupons for Burger King.
There you go. Yeah. What's up, Whitworth?
Hey, Bradley. Good to see ya. But I mean, these guys are going so far out on the limb to make it as comfortable for me as possible at camp.
Sounds like it, everything you've said.
And to the point now where anything else they add on, we can do this or that. I'm telling them, no, I don't need that shit. It's like they wanted to give me propane. But I don't use a lot of propane. It's so little. And I expect to have living expenses, I buy my own groceries, guys, and I'll put my own gas in my truck, and I don't expect them to pay my living expenses also.
You don't expect, but if they're willing to do it, hey.
It
still is a job. These are not your friends. They will get rid of you in a heartbeat if they deem necessary.
It's tempting, but I try to practice what I preach. I don't want to accept more than I need because I know where the money comes from. It comes out of Phil's pocket when he pays his annual taxes. And so that's one thing that my supervisor said. He says, it's going to be kind of interesting having you around because your whole career was holding the purse strings, Don't waste no fucking money. Don't do that, yeah. And he says, that's going to be kind of neat having you around. You'll be able to keep me up to date. So-and-so is filling up his personal car with gas, and he's doing it on the Forest Service account. And he said, but most people, they just turn a blind eye and just like, it ain't my problem.
Well, obviously, I'm talking about the bullshit you wouldn't, but I mean, if they're willing to do something for you and they're saying they're doing something for you, then, you accept what, I mean, it's still a job. You accept what they're willing to do for you. But yeah, you keep an eye out on assholes filling up their personal vehicles from the Forest Service gasoline. Well, that's crap.
Yeah.
If you're a witness to it, you're guilty.
Well, that's it. I've always been told that too, is that, hey, if you stand there and watch it and then you don't say nothing, you're just as guilty as the guy that did it because you just got some free entertainment of somebody doing the wrong thing,
Yeah.
A propane converter for my stove? No, my stove, I've got a Coleman propane stove. And I do have the hose. I could run a 20-pounder off of it, but I've got, I think, 26 of the green propane cylinders, and I use one about every 2 weeks out at camp. It's about how much I use. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I've got the converter, the hose and regulator, everything. So, because I used to run out at the wilderness camp, I had 20-pound cylinder on my Coleman there because I used it almost every day throughout the winter, 3 times a day.
Yeah, I got
you what?
He said he hadn't gotten his mod check yet, so I gave him an answer.
A mod check. Yeah, and you pointed the right direction.
The right direction.
That's what. I've got his 401k, and I got a camera with fresh batteries for when I give it to him.
There you go.
He gets out to camp this summer. I'm going to give him his 401k, his retirement money.
Gotta take it from the small change pocket. Let me see what I got here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
been saving this up for you for years.
Yeah, takes a long time to save 401 pennies.
That's right.
I didn't even go that far. Yeah.
Use some loose change and some blue lint on my pocket. How about that?
There you go. The lint is free.
Not everybody gets that lint. I don't just give lint to anybody.
No, you're right. Well, and that's it. It's if there's no lint in that change, it's probably time for you to change them pants.
That's because you got a hole in the bottom of the pocket. There's no change handle.
Yeah, the lint is in the top of your socks. And the change is all over town. I watched this. It was so funny. This guy kept coming in the Dollar Tree, and you remember those little coin deals that were oval shaped, and they had a slit on one side, and you squeeze them, and they're made out of rubber, and they were just like a change.
A little change coin purse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The rubber ones. Yeah.
Yeah. The banks used to give them away all the time, The bank give it, it's got the bank name on it.
Right.
And I had this guy coming in the Dollar Tree constantly, at least a couple times a month. He'd ask me, have you found any place that a person can get one of those anymore?
The information counter?
And so I felt so bad for the guy. So I started checking around. I mean, I went to all the banks. I went to the Chamber of Commerce. I went to all the little stores and shit that give stuff, like pens and stuff away.
Sure.
Nobody's got them.
Yeah, they're
Nobody's
usually
got them.
promotional items.
And so I went online and I found them. Oh yeah, I can get a little coin purse for them like that. If I buy 50 of them,
Yeah, well, yeah.
it won't let you buy one. Well, so I let him know, and he was, and he was a little old guy, and he just like he was brokenhearted. He says, "I miss mine." He says, "It finally got it broke on the back, and it won't hold anything anymore." And he says, "I love that thing." He says, "I miss it so much for just carrying my little bit of pocket change in." Well, I was telling the teller at the bank that I had been looking for those things, and and she goes, "Did you ask here?" And I said, "Yeah." They said they don't do that anymore. And she goes, "Well, no, we don't." She goes, "Would you like a few of those?" I said, "A few of them? What do you know?" And she goes, "I'll be right back." And she leaves her spot there and goes in the back room. She comes out and she sets 6 of those damn things with their bank logo on the back in front of me. And she says, "There you go." I go, "So you guys do have them?" She says, "We haven't given those out to customers in the last 10, 12 years. She says, "We got a box full of them damn things in the back room. So if you ever need another one, you know where to come." I took those to work and waited for that guy to come in. I saw him and I yelled at him, "Come over to my register. I need to talk to you." He come over and I'm ringing his stuff up. Go to give him his change. And I took one of those and I popped it open, dropped his change in and closed it. And I put the bills up there and that on top of the bills. The look on that guy's face is just like, "Oh my God. Oh." He says, "What do I owe you?" And on. I said, "You don't owe me nothing. And here's 5 more." I set those up there. And I said, "If those 6 don't last the rest of your damn life,
Lifetime supply.
You're a big spender, buddy. You're using that thing too much." But he was so freaking thrilled over this little rubber keeper or coin purse. And God, I remember those too. That's just,
I do too.
but never thought of them until that old guy was asking.
Well, you want to remember funky things. I mean, you go back, start thinking about funky things. Think about ladies and the little bags they used to have that they would put their cigarettes in, and that would have the middle clasp at the top.
Yeah.
Everybody had a bag that they kept their ladies did. I don't know about guys.
Yep.
All the ladies had
just
this little
the
bag they put their cigarettes down in.
Yep. They had the cigarette case that had the snap, the 2 metal bands with the snap.
Yep.
That it looked like a super long lady's coin purse.
Right.
And yeah, my ex-wife went through a dozen of them damn things. Got to have one that matches every outfit, you know.
You had to have them, and they'd wear out. You had your regular one, then you had a couple other ones, and yeah, they would wear. I can remember my mom. My dad smoked up until about the time that I was born, and then he quit smoking, and then my mom smoked, and then she was kind of like an on again, off again smoker for a lot of years. But yeah, I can remember back in the 70s and early 80s, her having one of those smoking things that her cigarette came out of, and she clipped it back up and put it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, my wife's, I think most of hers had a little pouch on the side you could slide your lighter in.
Mm-hmm.
And the and I remember a lot of guys that were in business, not construction workers, and like, hell, you rolled your cigarettes up in your sleeve,
right?
But
in your pocket.
Yeah, but a lot of business guys were using the aluminum cigarette cases.
Yeah.
And
well, that was classy.
That was classy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a way of carrying your cigarettes around when you were in a suit. And you just carry a few at a time, and then you just kind of pop that open. It's like, oh yeah, and you go outside, and yeah. You look like a shooter.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. My mom used to
times.
smoke those long brown, what were those things? Long brown cigarettes. Oh gosh, they weren't Pall Mall. What are they? They were the only ones that were long brown. God bless America. Back in the late 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I can picture them, but I can't recall.
I can picture them too, and I'm thinking
that's like
they were popular too.
That's like my ex-wife. Oh, it just drove me freaking nuts. Drove me nuts. For about 2 years, she smoked them damn Virginia Slims or Virginia Slims.
My mother-in-law smoked those.
And I'd run out of smokes, and I'd say, "Damn it, I got to go get smokes." And hey, bum me a smoke that I could smoke on the way to go get smokes. And she'd give me one of them stinking little things. I stick that thing in my mouth, light it, and holy shit, that was cigarillos. The but the
more. Remember the more cigarettes?
Yeah.
That's some old picture. I mean, that's probably not a very clear picture, but yeah, long brown cigarettes.
Yeah.
Little skinny pack that they were on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Virginia Slims. We call them vagina slimes because they tasted like crap, and they're only for a guy. They're only good for about 3 drags. It's gone.
Yeah,
and them tiny little freaking cigarettes. There's 20 of them in that tiny little pack, just like there's 20 in my pack.
Right.
And there's half as much tobacco in that sucking pack, but you're paying more than you do for a conventional pack of cigarettes. They were considered the higher priced top shelf smokes, and so it used to piss me off when I was paying $3.50, $4 a pack for mine, and I'm paying $5.50, $6 a pack for her half a pack. And
so now it's got me thinking of the skinniest cigarettes because there was something skinnier than the Virginia Slim.
Was there?
There was something that was weird that was skinnier than the Virginia Slims. They were almost like little. I forget what the hell they were.
Just tiny little sticks. I mean.
Oh yeah, they were, and I'm not finding them. I'm seeing Virginia Slims on my phone, but yeah, there was something that was tinier than those, and it's like, why even bother?
Right. I mean, does not seem right.
Yeah, they had the Misties, but that's not what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Misties. A lot of weird little, and that's the thing is back in the 70s and early 80s.
Oh, I think this is what they were. I think it's these ones. I'm almost certain. Come on. I'm trying to get the picture to center on my damn phone. Of course, it never cooperates, right? But these are the ones. Little capris.
Oh, the capris. Yes.
They were even skinnier.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like paper and filter.
Yeah. Ick. Hey, hang tight. We're going to wrap this up top of the hour, Phil.
Okay.
But chat at them guys. I'll be right back.
Okay, I will chat at these guys. I can chat. Yeah, my mother-in-law smoked Virginia. So my mother-in-law for a long time, she's had health problems and whatnot. She'd be one of these ladies smoking Virginia Slims, and she'd have one burning in a couple different ashtrays throughout the household. She'd be getting ready to light up another cigarette, and someone would be like, "Don't you got one burning over there?" Said, "Yeah, you got one burning over there too." She was just one of these ladies that she would light up her cigarettes. She'd take a couple drags off of it, put it in the cigarette, start doing something, and get distracted from what she was doing, get somewhere else, and then needed to, oh, I don't have a cigarette on me, and forget that she had one going somewhere else. So, yeah, she was easily a 2-pack a day lady right up until they increased the prices of cigarettes. I can remember my father-in-law complaining about, paying $6 a pack twice a day. So he'd go up to the grocery store, grab a gallon of milk, grab the newspaper, usually grab a lottery ticket or two, because he was always one of those guys that played the lottery, and grabbed her 2 packs of cigarettes. So he couldn't complain much because he was one of these guys that smoked a lot when he was younger. And then, of course, he chewed tobacco right up until probably the last 10, 15 years of his life. So which one was a silly millimeter long? I don't know about silly millimeter longer, but those Capris, those things were microscopic, and they weren't much bigger than a pencil lead as far as cigarettes. Those are ones I kind of remember as being ridiculous, right? You smoke. I mean, if you could smoke something like that and you smoke the same amount as you would if you had a full size cigarette, you smoke the same number of them. I guess if you're smoking less, it's good, but never really had the urge to smoke myself. A couple times in the military, I tried to, because guys always got a time to, smoke them if you got them, go take a break, blah, blah, blah. They could get out of formation and go smoke their cigarette. But no, never was really a smoker. I've drank on and off most of my life, but that's been my biggest vice I've ever had, is just the drinking. So, and even that's, curtailed to just evenings, a few nights a week. So, oh, Cheesehead, the scream just got better. That's not a nice thing to say, Cheesehead, even if it is true. It's not a nice thing to say. So yeah, we'll be wrapping things up here in about 8 minutes or so. I'm sure Sty wants to get his evening meal, and I need to get my arse to bed. Got a 11.5-hour workday tomorrow. Hopefully it's profitable. So Sty's coming back, putting the earbuds in. He's got to put that. When he sticks those things in his ears, he's got to put that look on his face, like,
yeah. Oh, squeezing the brain.
Well, lately when I've been coming up here now, when I watch something on TV, on YouTube now, if I'm not on panel, I've got a set of wireless that I've been doing.
Yeah, I got Bluetooth headset, but they're all packed away for the gear going to camp, and it's nice if you got the wireless,
Yeah, I got these in now, but here I can hear myself talk, and I don't like this.
Oh, you hear your?
Oh yeah, well, just in my own head, with earbuds in like this, in my own head, I can hear all this that I don't hear when I'm talking out here.
Oh yeah, you're getting you get that. See, that's it. Is if I got earbuds in, it's like I've got cotton in my ears and I'm hearing myself.
Right. Right.
And
that's what it's doing now.
I can hear you excellent, but mine is like I got cotton in my ears. Oh, Jesus. Just a second.
Now, the volume should come back here in a second, because I can't hear you at the moment. But usually after I put those in there, the volume will come back.
I'll be right back. You'll be right back.
You're leaving?
Just for a second.
I can't hear nobody, but maybe my thing's all muted up. Well, you guys can probably all hear me, so I don't need to hear nobody, since nobody else is in the room. But I got to go off to mess with something. No, I like using my ear. See, my biggest problem is being down in this room. I hate putting the earbuds in and being talking to Sty or somebody, and have someone come walk in the room if I'm in-depth conversation with someone here. Have someone come walking in the room and startle the bejesus out of me. I mean, if I got these in and I'm watching a movie, this door opens, the light comes on, I can, it doesn't startle me. But Jason the Reaper, James, have a great night, my friend. I hope you have a good night. I hope you have a good work week. I'm hoping the same for myself. We got to, what? They got to get these microchips and start putting them in these dang cars so we can have plenty of them on the lot and get some good deals out there to folks. So good to see you there, Chasing the Reaper. Well, I don't know what Sty ran off to do. I couldn't hear him when he ran off because my earbuds were out of my hole. Hopefully when he comes back, I'll be able to hear him. screen doesn't tell me nothing, so I don't know. So he's trying to fix something. So, but we still got 14 people in the house. Hey, if you're sitting here and you've been here the whole time, or you just got here, hit the thumbs up. So old Sty's got a couple of thumbs up. Hey, if you got a couple extra bucks, give it to Granny or super chat the old fart before he logs off here in the next 5 minutes. So that'd be nice. That'd be nice. It all helps to pay for things for him, for the camping and different things that he does, the editing, the his equipment that he has to buy, and the things he has to do. So we all always appreciate the super chat. Super chats make you feel like you've done a good job. So we always appreciate the super chat. Anyways, you guys just being here is awesome. Being here helps to support the channel in ways that you don't even know. So, but yeah, it looks like we lost the old cute. Hopefully he didn't fall down. You know what? He didn't, and he doesn't have a GoPro on either. So if he went into the kitchen and fell down, then we just missed the whole thing. Oh, here he is. Nope, he didn't go in the kitchen and fall down. Now he's messing with something. Yeah. Yep, here he comes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. We were saying prayers while you were gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were praying while you were gone.
I bet you it was just as important as what I had to run for. Someone at my door, and they're saying, hey, you know about these guys that are moving into apartment such and such, which is across from me. Our building's round and our hallway is round.
Sure.
And the elevators, everything's in the middle. Well, they're all the way on the opposite side of the building from me, the people moving in. And they asked, are you aware these people are out here banging shit all over the place? And you should see what they did to the wall. I said, I just got done coming from in front. That's where I went the first time. Was I hurt? It sounded like somebody was doing a demo job out here. So I went to see what the hell it was. And I told them guys, they said, oh, how nice. Look at all. They've got that big furniture hauler thing. Big. It's kind of like a cart at Sam's Club, one of those
Sure.
decks. And they had a dresser or something on it, and they drug it against the damn wall and left a big gouge in the drywall. And I told them, I said, yeah. I said, what apartment he had? And they told me that one there. I said, okay, good. Yeah. No need for you to tell the landlord how you damaged the hell out of the place, because I'll let him know in the morning. And so this other guy on my floor that I talked to quite often, he come to my door. Hey, did you see the shit they're doing on it? Yeah. And I told him, no, I already saw it. It's all good. Go back to bed. Jesus.
It's a great way to move into a building.
Uh-huh.
Tearing shit up.
Tear shit up. And that's it is, they'll tear the hell out of the hallway, But I bet you go in their apartment, there's no nicks on the walls, I got to live in there. That's going to be nice. Fuck the hallway. That was like me too, is when I picked this apartment, the gal said, she said, well, I've got a really nice apartment on the second floor. You want to see that? We got there, got off the elevator, and she goes, it's this apartment right here off to the left. I go, what else you got? And she goes, well, why not? And I said, you see this wall as it comes around? I won't get my couch into that apartment. It won't make that bend without tearing up this drywall on this wall. And she goes, oh, I'm sure it'll fit. I said, no, this couch is identical to the one that I gave to the ex-wife, and she lived in this building one floor up in the same apartment, and we couldn't get the couch in there and end up gouging the wall really bad getting the couch in. So I know it won't fit. So no, show me another apartment. Then she showed me this one, and she goes, will that work? And I go, oh yeah, that's the perfect one, because where I'm at, that's the deepest part of the hallway. It's nice and open. You can swing. The couch is 7.5 feet long, and you got all the room in the world to walk that straight in the door. But when I looked out the picture window, I go, oh yeah, beautiful view of the Lake Superior and a big pine tree off to the side here, 46 feet up off the road, off the ground. I said, that's mine.
There you go.
She didn't have any on the 7th or 8th floor. Otherwise, I would have grabbed one of them. I wanted the 8th floor, looking the direction this apartment looks. That's what I wanted. Yeah. No. I almost ended up being the caretaker of this place. It would have been like being the fucking host at the campground, you know, and where you get to live here rent free as long as you're the caretaker, right? But you got to do all the caretaking.
Sure that.
Well,
that's worth more than what your rent is a month.
And I asked them about that, and they said, "Well, we can pay you up to $500 plus your rent. So you would get a $500 check, $250 every 2 weeks." And I thought, maybe I'll think about it. And I said, which I keep the apartment I have. They said, oh no, we would move you into a caretaker's apartment. And I said, well, okay, because I knew the caretaker's apartment there's only 2 apartments in the whole building that are 2-bedroom. And I thought, 2nd bedroom, my YouTube studio, awesome. I love that shit. I told him, I said, okay, put me on the list. I'll consider it. I think I'll do it. And they said, well, we talked to our board of directors, and they said, everything's the way I told you, except no, you stay in the apartment you're in. I said, if I don't get a 2-bedroom apartment, go fuck yourself. I don't want. I said, that was the deal breaker, man. If I don't get a 2-bedroom apartment out of the deal, nah, not even close. You guys, yeah. So I'm happy where I am, because now I'll just go host the campground, and I get the biggest, nicest campsite in the whole campground. So they treat me good. My landlord's an ass. So hey guys, we're at that 3-hour mark. Let's wrap her up. It's 10 o'clock here, 11 where Phil's at. Phil has to go to work tomorrow. Actually, I shouldn't be saying nothing, because I got to shake it out early tomorrow. I got packages of gear coming for the camp. I got, oh shit. Oh yeah. I got a ton of stuff I got to do tomorrow. And at least tomorrow seems easier than Tuesday. Tuesday is my real work day. My YouTube day off. I get to work my ass off, you know. Why not? But I want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out. It was a blast. It was a nice kind of how should I put it? Just a general nice discussion tonight. All over the board, a little bit of memorabilia, you know. Mm-hmm. So I want to thank every one of you for sharing that time with us, and I'll see you. Hey, if you're available tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. Central Time, Sty Times.
There we go.
Yeah. Catch them while you can, because after April 30th, no more live streams except one a week on Wednesday nights. So catch them while you can.
Good night, Chuck.
And yeah, we'll see y'all. Hey, it was great, guys. We're going to dance our asses out of here. Phil, you have a good day at work tomorrow, buddy.
We'll see you later.
We'll see you soon.
See ya.
Night, guys.